Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Connor producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours. A lot to get into this afternoon as it is the day of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game last night. The Home Run Derby, the Cardinals' Jordan Walker winning it last night over Kyle Schwarber, who was in his home ballpark. A really fun night of the Home Run Derby. We'll see what the All-Star Game looks like tonight. Got to talk some other things like the NBA, college football, NFL. Plenty to discuss over these next 3 hours. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well. Are there any historical markers or indicators of future performance after winning the Home Run Derby, or is it like winning the par 3 contest at the Masters and that person's never gone on to win the Masters? Is it anything that's predictive about it going to be MVP that year or within the next 2 years? Anything like that?
I don't think so. If there is, I don't know about it. But I mean, you look at recent winners. I mean, it's been big names and some really talented players. So I mean, I think that would make you feel good. I'm trying to pull up.
Has it ever really unlocked someone to really go on to greatness?
I mean, I'm just thinking of recent winners. You would certainly know more, way back, but I can't really think of any correlation. I don't know, the early 2000s, the 90s. I mean, I'm not saying way back. I'm just saying, the first names that are coming to my mind are the last couple of winners.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at, Cal Raleigh last year, the season that he had, really, really good. Teoscar Hernandez, a really good year in 2024 when he won it. Vladdy, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, back-to-back winner, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge. I mean, these are big-time names that have won the Home Run Derby. Giancarlo Stanton.
Whoa, I'm there now. I didn't realize it went back to 85.
Yeah, no, it's we've had a lot of Home Run Derbies. So yeah, I mean, I think that would be a better indicator if those guys, had great careers. I mean, I'm looking at some of the winners right now from back then, and it's some big time names.
Sure is.
So yeah, I think it's I would say it's you win that.
What a story! What a story from. Look, I was. Many were ready to write him off.
I think we all were. I don't think it was any secret. I mean, it's a make or break season for him, and to have the start of the season that he's had, to get named an All-Star, and then to get into the Home Run Derby and really put on a show was really, really impressive last night. Very calm, cool, and collected up there in all of his at bats. I guess the 3 rounds that he took part in last night, just really, really fun to watch. A fun night all around, and yeah, I mean, for it to be a Cardinal to win it, it was fun to watch.
I don't see many on this list that are, air quotes here, small timers.
No, it's big names, and so yeah, hopefully that continues.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it is the start of a really long, really successful career for Jordan Walker. I did see. Yoenis Cespedes won it once. I mean, hey, I love Yoenis Cespedes. Did it? I just was scrolling through.
Yeah, twice. Back-to-back years.
I think you could argue the type of career that Yoenis Cespedes had, but
burned out pretty quickly.
Yeah, but a really good career when he was hitting. So I hope it means a really fun long career for Jordan Walker.
I would say Cespedes and probably maybe Wally Joyner, who looks like he tied in 85 with Dave Parker.
Oh wow, tie in the Home Run Derby. How about that?
That's what it looks like.
Wow.
I would say that's about as small as it gets, and Wally Joyner had a nice career.
Sure. No, absolutely did. So yeah.
Never threatened Cooperstown, but most don't.
Yeah, I mean, but this, yeah, I mean, you look up and down the list, some really, really fun names on here, and so
Wally Joyner, career 289, over 2,000 hits, over 200 home runs, over 1,100 RBI. You sign up for that.
No doubt about
First
it.
day you go out to Little League baseball practice, you sign up for that.
No, that is that's a really good career.
That's about as small as it gets.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm looking back at these now. I'm now seeing a couple of years where it has 2 winners listed. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about, but I have to go back and look into that. But no, last night was fun. It
was
on Netflix.
I didn't watch a second, but it was fun. The result,
sure. But
how was the production and the show value?
It was okay. I think it had some nice moments. It had some poor moments. It was a lot going on. It was a lot of different voices and things going on. I know a lot of people talking about the kind of pre-game, if you will. I didn't watch any of that. I quite literally turned it on right when the first batter was taking his I might have even missed his first swing, but I turned it on when the actual competition started, so I didn't get to see any of the kind of pre-game of it. I know they had different kind of segments around different shows and stuff like that on Netflix, but it was fine. It was better than I thought it would be. And I guess at the end of the day, when you're talking about your first broadcast of the Home Run Derby on Netflix, I would say it was successful. Now, I will be curious of what the numbers are for it because, I do think on Netflix, I certainly kind of forgot about it for a second when I was kind of looking at things last night. And when I pulled it up, now I was on my phone. I asked somebody who was watching it on their television, and they said it was very easy to find on the TV. I was on my phone when I first pulled it up, and it was very hard to find. It was not on kind of the front screen. WWE, which was also live last night, was kind of front screen on my phone, I don't watch WWE, so it's not like I'm kind of have that as something that I'm subscribed to or anything where it would be first up. I kind of had to go to the search bar and then it kind of popped up. So, for something that is supposed to be their big event on Netflix, I would have thought that it would have been front screen and kind of the first thing that I was hit with on Netflix. So we'll be really curious to see the numbers and kind of some of the other response that comes out of the Home Run Derby last night. But for what it is, I thought it was fine broadcast last night.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't see 1 ounce of it, so I don't know any of the blowback. But I don't think we should get too upset and draw too many conclusions from an inaugural broadcast of the Home Run Derby.
No, and I really haven't seen anybody complaining about it. I think everyone kind of knows what it is. It's just, I think they tried to do a little too much last night. I mean, we talked about it. They had the regular announcers, and then they had the kind of, sit down, hang out area with El Duncan, and
to keep it real loose.
Yeah, but it was very weird. It didn't really, I don't know. There was not much structure to it. So, one batter comes up and, Vasgersian's doing it, and then the next batter came up, and El Duncan and Pujols and Bonds are kind of talking through it. It was just, I don't know. It was a little weird, but it was a fine night, and I just love, and I kind of forget about it every year, how much I just love watching guys step up and hit a bunch of home runs. It's just fun to watch. So, good night last night with the Home Run Derby, and certainly with Jordan Walker winning the whole thing made it a little more fun.
The Phillies pitcher that was invited, this not showing. Help me.
Zach Wheeler, right?
Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
What do you think of his stance?
I mean, I've never been in a position where I, have the opportunity to play in an All-Star game or not. And so, I don't know what I would do in that scenario. But look, if he says I don't want to just be named as an alternate or a reserve, and I feel like I did enough this season to be one of the first names on there, then yeah, I mean, good for him. I'm sure.
I so respect it.
Yeah, I mean,
and I equate it a little bit to all these people that are snubbed for some honors, Halls of Fame or other things. And I bring it back to the Cardinal Hall of Fame, and David Freese was elected to it, and he turned it down. Mm-hmm. And he turned it down for a couple reasons. The biggest is he said, I'm paraphrasing, I had a good run that year. I hit the biggest home run in Cardinal history. there are people more deserving than me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to take their spot. And the whole depth and breadth of my career, I don't think I am meritorious of it, and I'm going to turn it down, and I'm kind of ready to move on with other aspects of my life. I don't want to just be defined by, fall of 2011. That wasn't an exact quote, but that's basically what he said.
Sure.
I don't think I missed it too much. I respect this Phillies pitcher. No, don't just stick me in the back of the team picture.
But I think I do think it's a little different from that example, because that's more of, hey, yeah, I had a great moment, but I'm not. My whole career isn't as deserving to be in there as other guys. I think this is more of, I'm 10-1 with a 2.13 ERA. I should have been one of the first pitchers named on the All-Star team, and you didn't want me, and now because all these other guys can't pitch, you want me to now be in it? I'm not going to be in that. And,
and I think it was Harry Carson, famously with the New York Giants, and he kept just coming up short at year after year after year on Hall of Fame voting, and became the story, the always the one snubbed. And after this particular time, he said, next year I go in, or y'all take me off the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want any got in the next year.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I wish more would say, no, this list of jabronis got in before me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in your stinking club.
Yeah, and so, I'm completely fine with him doing it. I know some people kind of pointing out that, he is a Philly and it being in Philadelphia, but, they have a ton of players. You saw them all just hanging out last night at the home run derby, so it's not like there's only one or two Phillies participating in the All-Star game. They've got plenty in there already. Now, it would have been his third straight All-Star game. I just pulled that up to see how many All-Star games he's been in. So, that would have been cool. But I'm kind of one, if he had taken it, cool. The fact that he didn't take it, cool. It wasn't going to bother me one way or the other, whatever he decided to do. But he is one, if you were talking about snubs for this game, he absolutely is one, where the season that he's had, he should have been, absolutely one of the first names of pitchers included on the roster.
What jersey do you have on?
A Sunderland jersey. Just came in last week.
Very nice.
It is their Premier League team, if people don't know who Sunderland is out there. And I'm learning all about it. This is an Elvis-themed jersey, and it's in partnership with Elvis Presley Incorporated. They sing Can't Help Falling in Love before their games, I guess. I'm learning all of this in the last couple of weeks. And so this is going to be their away kit for the upcoming season. So I bought one, and I've now pledged my fanship to Sunderland. So
I didn't know this whole time England's song at the end of the game is Wonderwall by Oasis.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until I guess the last game.
I'm so for them now.
Yeah, no, they've got some fun players, and certainly some fun songs that they sing throughout the game.
In the 90s, down on Bill at the New Daisy,
mm-hmm.
there was a great promoter, had boxing there, a great guy named Mike Glenn. Not the Mike Glenn that people might know the name from FedEx, but another really good guy named Mike Glenn. And a lot of bands that were making, they're one step from hitting it big. And a friend of mine wanted me to go, and it was mid to late 90s, right before they became, internationally known. And the biggest ice storm.
Oh, man.
One of the biggest ice storms.
Oh, man.
So would it have been 94, the big one? Anyway, it hits, and I go, I'm not going to try getting out that night and miss seeing Oasis before they became Oasis.
Wow. Yeah, that would have been a lot of fun. And so, yeah, no, they're a good team. And they'll
love their song.
Yeah, no, it's.
I want a Spain-England final.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We got Spain up 1-0 right now in the 52nd minute, so we'll see if they can hold on here. This would be a little bit of an upset. A lot of people thought France would be the team advancing to the finals, but it's funny because I feel like this is the third or fourth time we've mentioned this type of game this year, but I know Bruce Marshall brought it up last week when we were talking about him, of how this kind of feels more like the finals. It feels like France and Spain are the two best teams, and then you got Argentina and England, who are neither are slouches.
Loser this game has to play in the blank bowl.
That's Saturday. Right, which I keep forgetting that, and every time somebody brings it up, it like blows me away that we have a consolation game in the World Cup. So it should be fun to see how this one
had it in the NCAA tournament through 1981.
Still crazy.
Philadelphia 1981 Final Four. I have won more bar bets with Razorback fans. They have convinced themselves that they played in the final consolation game in the 78 Final Four in St. Louis. They did not. There were three after that.
Oh, man, three after. I mean, it'd be one thing if there was only one after it.
Okay, they convinced themselves, and they defeated Notre Dame in that game. But there were three more after it. Did not play in the last one.
Wow. Well, we've got a busy show this afternoon, so let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Matt Pauley from the Cardinals Network and KMOX. He'll join us. Talk a lot of Cardinals baseball with him. We'll talk the All-Star game tonight and Jordan Walker winning the home run derby last night. So a lot to get to with Matt Pauley. We'll do that in our next segment. 3:45, we'll talk some NBAs. We'll talk a little summer league, also free agency still rolling. And we're still on LeBron James watch. We'll see when we get an announcement from LeBron James on who his next team will be. We'll talk a little bit more about that at 3:45. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. He'll join us. Talk a lot of college football with him. We'll talk some SEC, but also ACC media days getting started tomorrow. So we'll talk some ACC football with him, what he expects to hear over the next couple of days at ACC media days. At 4:30, we'll talk more about the All-Star game later tonight. We'll compare those rosters from the last, 2 times that it's been in Philadelphia. So we'll take a look at this roster and the previous 2 rosters, see how they compare to each other, and what should be a really fun All-Star game
96,
later tonight.
Both leagues, nuclear warhead.
Oh, I believe it. So I took a look at that roster. I did not look at the one before that, but there's some names on that roster, so that'll be fun. At 4:30, 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant. He'll join us. We'll talk the NFL. We've also got to get to our quarterback and coach rankings. What division are we doing today for the NFL?
AFC South.
AFC South. Okay, I think Bo accidentally gave us his AFC South a couple weeks ago.
Please tell me I didn't put it on. That I failed to put it on the rundown.
You did fail to put it on the rundown, I believe, or maybe I just didn't read. Now, reading was my issue yesterday, so I think maybe
how'd I do that?
Is it me, Connor?
That's on you.
Is it me? No way.
It was in the rundown.
No way. Hold on, I gotta double check.
I'm doing it right now based off the rundown.
No, I'm looking at it. It says Bo Marchant, NFL quarterback and coach rankings. There's no division on here.
That's on me. I went back.
You're the one that can't read today. The Dacus brothers in reading, maybe not the strong suit.
How about me and sending pertinent show information? It's the first big sign.
Well, let's not make that jump. I mean,
It is, no doubt.
Well, hopefully it's just a mistake.
I mean, you can't send can't send a lineup. I mean, why are you in the dugout if you can't keep up with the scorebook and see who's in the batting order?
That's fair, but
it's the only reason they let me hang around.
Well, Brett, 4
names. The only reason y'all let me hang around is get the show lineup right.
Well, but Brett, 4 quarterback names, 4 coach names. I figured it wasn't a big deal. Well,
it's a miss.
Look, if
you either bat 1,000 or you don't.
Well, but if that's the only miss that you have today, what a great day it is. I mean, honestly,
I'll try to do better.
That's got to be the least of your concerns in a day. But we'll get to those AFC South rankings, both quarterback and coach rankings. We'll do that with Bo Marchant at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do each and every Tuesday afternoon with Humdinger's Crunch Time. Well, let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Summer, it is here, and it's time to get those backyards ready for the ultimate pool party. Above ground pools starting at $39.99 installed, with in-ground pools starting at $49,999. all in-stock patio furniture. It's priced to move with 5-piece patio furniture sets starting at just $999. Outdoor sectionals, they're starting at $12.99 with free umbrella and base available with select patio furniture sets. While you're out there, don't forget about the hot tubs and the swim spas. Hot tubs starting at $34.99 with swim spas starting at $16,999. Special financing is available, and if you mention this ad, get $200 off any pool or spa purchase only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
Brian, you were so kind about my mistake, and now I feel terrible about a text I sent to Bo earlier today, and I will tell you the text.
Okay. All right.
The winner of Spain and France will have a bigger win at Jerry's World than the Cowboys have ever had.
Wow. You know what?
Don't I feel bad
I
now?
wish I hadn't corrected and asked for it, and we would have just waited until 5 o'clock to get to it. No, you're right, unfortunately. This would be a much bigger win than any Cowboys win.
Arguably Mbappe a bigger star than any Cowboy star at Jerry's World ever?
I would say so. I think I would agree with that, yes. And Spain just put another one on the board, so 2-0. España, how about
Farther
that?
Gasol brothers.
Yeah, no, this would be great.
We are Sportstime. We're live and local and with you until 6 o'clock. We want you to be with us by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. Connor, Brett, Bryant with you. And we want you to be with us. And we're always live and local from our Family Leisure studios in this hour every day. Brought to you by the great people at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis, and that's at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it is All-Star Week for Major League Baseball. We had the Home Run Derby last night, which was a lot of fun, and then tonight we'll have the All-Star Game. But last night's Home Run Derby, it was Jordan Walker who got the win. And Brett, I was watching it last night on Netflix, and after the first round, I think it was, when we had the final four set. So it was weird because this was the first time they went back to 2015 where it was swings instead of outs. So everybody got 20 swings in the first round. And then, so there were 8 batters in the first round total. Then they took the top 4 and then they bracketed those. And so you're going up against a different batter. And then the winner of those two faced off in the final. So it was kind of weird how they did it. Took a second to kind of get with the program. But once the final 4 was set, I knew exactly how it was going to play out. Kyle Schwarber, the Philly, who was going to step up in there, and he was the second matchup. He was going to win that round, and he was going to win it all, and it was going to be a big Philly night in Philadelphia. And he gets on the board early in the finals, and it felt like, okay, here he goes. He's gonna do it. He gets up big, and then Jordan Walker, with his hits, he had to go down to his final hit where he needed, I think, 6 in a row that he got to ultimately beat Kyle Schwarber, and it was a really, really fun night. The Philadelphia fans were booing him all throughout his final round. And, well, that is unfortunately true, but it was a really, really fun night for him. They kept showing the camera of his dad, who was in attendance, who was just freaking out entire night. So really, really cool to see him do it. Man, that swing looked good. He was calm, composed. I mean, it just looked like he was out there any other day swinging the bat, and then he wins it, and we all learned he won more money last night winning the Home Run Derby than he will make this entire season playing baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals. So a really, really fun night for Jordan Walker. We'll see what tonight's All-Star Game has in store.
Let's hope he's MVP tonight.
That'd be fun.
That would be a lot of fun. My top story, from Ruth to Mays to Aaron to Bonds to Pujols to today's stars baseball. They take its break and give us this All-Star Game every year. Tonight from Philly, 50 years since the bicentennial year. This is the semi-quintennial year, and we're back in Philly after being there in 1996 as well. First time ever from Citizens Bank Park. Started during the Depression to give us something to enjoy in the 30s. And baseball may not be America's pastime anymore, but it still beats nothing because this is about as slow as it gets in a sports year tonight and tomorrow.
No, that's exactly right. And hopefully we're not sitting here a year from now twiddling our thumbs, wishing we had the home run derby in the All-Star game. But didn't love some of the quotes I've heard from some of the All-Stars over the last couple of days.
Got ugly, didn't it?
No, it really has. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. It's going to get much, 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 much uglier.
Not top story of the day.
Well, Brett, my not top story of the day, it is the semifinals in the World Cup. And while we were doing our top story of the day, it looked like España put another one on the board, but it was called back for offside. So
when is it not offside?
Well, that is a great question. It takes some time to understand the offside rule. I've heard a lot of people call to just get rid of the offsides rule. No need for it. Let's open up the game and just get a bunch of goals on the board with no offsides. But offsides taking a goal away from Spain, but it's been all Spain today against France. This is the first semifinal game. We'll get the second one tomorrow between England and Argentina. Brett, you brought it up yesterday. We're seeing the Blue Bloods really shine in this World Cup. Yes, there were a lot of upsets early in the process in group stage, even in the first couple of games in the knockout stage. But now that we've gotten down to the final handful of teams, you've really seen the best shine. France, Spain, Argentina, England. Those are four of the best soccer countries in the world. We'll see if Spain can hold on to this 2-0 lead over France, punch their ticket into the finals. But no matter what happens, the World Cup has been an absolute hit this year. It's been so much fun to watch, and this semifinal's been a blast. Hopefully tomorrow's semifinal does the same, and we get a thriller in the final.
I committed to enjoying it, and I have enjoyed every second of it. My not top story, fourth and final major of the year this week at the Open Championship. The first Open Championship was in 1860, just a few months before Abraham Lincoln was elected president, defeating John Breckinridge and John Bell from Tennessee and Stephen Douglas. 4-man race. He wins the presidency after Willie Park defeated Old Tom Morris for the first British Open.
Right.
Open Championship, whatever they want to call it. This week, who's going to win it? Is it going to be Rory? Is it going to be Scotty, Bryson, or could it be Tiger? Could it be Tiger? Old Tiger Christensen from Germany in the field.
I was about to say, unless something crazy happened, I didn't think it was the Tiger I was thinking about.
You want to take Tiger in picks tomorrow?
You know, Brett,
take Tiger Christensen.
Maybe, 6-7 years ago, I would have taken Tiger every single weekend. But I don't think I'm going to take Tiger this weekend. I won't take my chances on him. But no, going to be a lot of fun this week, and really looking forward to our picks tomorrow afternoon. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break. And when we return, we're talking some Cardinals baseball. Matt Pauley, he joins us next.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Check it out. Central Barbecue has an app.
Hey, let me see it.
Don't just grab somebody's phone. Jeez.
Oh, okay, then just show it to me.
See?
Oh, wow. Simple, straightforward.
I know. Just tap on the Central Barbecue app, and you can order from any Central Barbecue.
Oh, they've got all 4 locations. They got downtown, Poplar, Summer, and even South Haven.
Yep. Place your order on the Central Barbecue app, and it'll be ready when you arrive. Your food will be ready in 10 minutes, and there are no extra fees for using the app.
Now, that is a sweet deal.
It is a sweet deal.
Old Dominick Distillery is pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail. From the winning atmosphere at its downtown Memphis distillery to award-winning craft spirits, Old Dominick is pure Memphis spirit through and through. Swing by the distillery bar for a pregame cocktail or celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at OldDominick.com.
Use Polymarket to trade the World Soccer semifinals. Delete that sportsbook app that's robbing you and join the millions using Polymarket. Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sportsbook. You trade against other fans, not the house. Polymarket, your go-to prediction market for soccer's biggest stage, available in all 50 states. Download the Polymarket app, use promo code FOX to unlock $50 free for your first trade. That's promo code FOX. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
It's time for SEC Media Days. Join Brett Norsworthy as he broadcasts live from Tampa next Monday through Thursday, previewing the upcoming SEC football season and brings you interviews with players, coaches, and SEC insiders. Tune into Sports Time with Stats and Bryant Dacus from 3 to 6, and also hear from Stats throughout the day for SEC Media Days coverage on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Brought to you by First National Bank and Trust, Jason's Deli, Gould's Salon and Spa, Jim's Place in Collierville, and All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch.
Sports 56 traffic.
Mass calls out here the last 15, 20 minutes. It's trying to build certain sections of the Midtown area, especially on 240 South here in South Parkway, as it increases on the 55 bridge headed over into Crittenden County, West Memphis. Watch a little bit of radar south of Memphis this afternoon. It's been on and off since lunchtime. They're on 55 in certain parts of South Haven. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck having transmission problems. Come to Amco Transmissions, 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we've got to talk some baseball. And joining us now from the Cardinals Network, also KMOX, Matt Pauley joining us now to talk all things Cardinals, Major League Baseball. Matt, thank you so much. I know All-Star break, an opportunity to get away, so we definitely appreciate you giving us some time during All-Star week. But after last night, we had to talk some Cardinals. Jordan Walker wins the home run derby. What a fun night it was for Jordan Walker and for Cardinal fans.
Yeah, it was awesome, and it was just the way they redid the format this year. I think it really worked out well, and then for Walker to have that great first round and the second round where he, had hit second, so he had to just get the 6, and then that run that he went on right at the end to beat Schwarber, that was drama. That was awesome. That was Cardinals fans feel like maybe that was the best moment that they've had since Pujols was going for 700. I mean, it was a really, really fun time. And I was literally at the edge of my seat. And when he hit that one to win it, I jumped out of my couch. I was so happy for him and his story of being a guy that a lot of people had just thrown away. I mean, there was legitimate talk this year in spring training about, does he even deserve to make the Major League opening day roster? And to go from that to this as an all-star, as the Major League leader in RBIs, a guy who's shown big-time power, and just his entire storyline in the last few years to get to this point, it's pretty darn special.
Matt, I did it. Full confessional, I did it. I've said on these airwaves, I know I said it at the end of last year. I don't think I said it any this year, but I know I did at some point last year, whoever the scout was that presented to John and the powers that be to draft him and make him maybe the next star, they all should be fired. I was wrong. You're right. Most gave up on him. He didn't give up on himself, and he's really illustrative of the franchise itself right now. So many people have wrote this season off and written off the Cardinals as done for a long time, and they're not done.
They're not. And I do look, the Cardinals didn't do him any favors at the beginning of his career when they rushed him to the big leagues, and they skipped, and also even before where they're at right now, because since Chaim Bloom has arrived, the Cardinals have invested in player development where they're doing things the right way. But that was an area of the organization that was lacking. So even though they rushed him, even if they wouldn't have rushed him, I don't know if the player development would have been what they needed to be in the moment to get him to this spot. So the fact that the organization has been able to reset him and get him to where he's at, it says a lot for them because the tools were always there. Like, and I know a lot of people like to kind of roll their eyes at the StatCast numbers and everything, but so often, not all the time, but so often, those numbers are predictive of what your baseball card numbers are going to be. If you hit the ball really hard and you've got top-level bat speed, well, then more often than not, that's going to result in a high batting average and good power and those sort of things. But they don't put StatCast numbers on the back of baseball cards. They put average, home runs, and RBIs. So, and those are the numbers that matter because those are the numbers that help you win baseball games. So I understand why fans got a little bit frustrated with it. But I think you're right just in saying that he's, in many ways a microcosm of what's going on with this Cardinals team, where I was taking calls all during the offseason leading the season, people telling me that I was crazy for thinking that this wasn't going to be a 100-loss baseball team. And I didn't think they were going to be doing what they've done this year. I just always thought that they could be a team that'd be in the neighborhood of 500 and just sort of contending for a playoff spot was going to be their ceiling. And right now, in many ways, that might be their floor. So they're doing better than even the most positive people like me tended to they're doing better than, what we expected. And then Walker's been right in the middle of it because he's been such an impactful bat.
Now, Matt, when we did preseason picks, I did depart from all the gloominess, and I did pick the Cardinals to beat the Yankees in the World Series, but only because I'm an insufferable homer.
Oh, I'm not willing to go that far for sure, but I appreciate the optimism, and I never really thought that they weren't a bad baseball team last year. They weren't a really good baseball team last year, but they weren't the 100-loss baseball team last year. And when I saw that the moves that they made in the offseason and everything, I just thought that they weren't going to be that far off from who they were last year. And again, there's a lot of baseball left to be played. Let's not crown them on anything quite yet. And really the last month of the season, it's been some more lower points than good points, but I still like this team for the most part.
Matt, late March next year when we do baseball predictions, I'm picking the Cardinals to beat the Yankees in the World Series again because I've done it every year since 2001.
Every single year.
I love it.
Matt, talking about the bat of Jordan Walker, it's also the fielding. We saw it here in Memphis. We saw it early in his time with the Cardinals, but after they moved him to the outfield, it was really rough at first, and he's turned into a really reliable option in the outfield.
He has. He takes good routes now. Excuse me. He takes good routes now. I mean, his major strength is his throwing arm. He has one of the top throwing arms in all of baseball, and that's why he's got as many outfield assists as he has, and that's been something that has really been solid for him. But from a getting to a ball perspective, is he the best in baseball? No, but I think he is definitely more than average in that area. And then he's able to throw, keep runners really, really cautious on the bases because of his ability to throw out runners trying to take an extra base. So he deserves a lot of credit for what he's done. I always felt like when he would start slumping offensively, the defensive slump would come along with it. He was just bringing everything to every aspect of his game. And he looks like a different guy in the outfield. And he's fun. He's so fast. I don't know. People don't realize how fast he is. He is one of the fastest players, if not but especially Victor Scott II, not on the roster anymore. He might be the fastest player on the team. And he's able to use that in the outfield.
Yeah, the stride is just so long. It's not as rhythmic. It's not as smooth as, say, some of the great Cardinal speedsters of all time. Smaller players like Vince Coleman and even Ray Lankford. You mentioned Victor Scott. Matt Pauley with us from the Cardinals Network and KMOX in St. Louis. He's in the All-Star break. After the break, Matt, for the Cardinals, after you get past Jordan Walker, who offensively really needs to help carry this team, and what pitcher that might be, around 500 right now, not a full-blown John Tudor run, but a good run after the break?
Yeah, I think from a hitting perspective, you'd really like to see Alec Burleson just be that consistent at his best, because he's had a really good season. He's got an OPS above 800. In no way, shape, or form am I being critical of Burleson. He is somebody who he definitely rides the roller coaster. In the month of July, he's hitting .234 with a .691 OPS. So if Burleson can be who we know him to be consistently through the second half of the season, to just team him up there with Jordan Walker and J.J. Weatherholt and Ivan Herrera. And I'd probably put Ivan Herrera would probably be 1B to that question as well when you think about who he can be and what he's been this season. He's just had a really hard time. The launch angle for him is an issue where he's just not hitting enough fly balls. I never would have thought he would have been just an 11 home run guy at the All-Star break. I thought he was going to maybe flirt with 30 home runs this season and for sure be a 25-plus guy, and he's got a long way to be able to get there. So Burleson and Herrera would be the guys. And then, look, the pitcher who has the ability to just be the most dominant and who has the highest ceiling is Dustin May. And if he can be some version of the guy that we saw when he threw the one-hit shutout against San Diego, that's so impactful. And you need the rest of the rotation just to kind of be there and do what they've done. Andre Palante doesn't have to be an all-star, and I know he's a double-digit winner. Matthew Liberator, if he can kind of do what he did over the last 3-4 starts, that's going to be perfectly fine. Just all the guys that are in there in the rotation, if they just continue to give you a chance to win, and then Dustin May is a guy who is going to really lead you. Not only does that give you a chance to win a lot of games, he's the one guy in the rotation that you feel like if he's at his best, he actually gives you a pretty solid chance of being able to win a postseason game.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about this pitching staff, the bullpen has been pretty up and down this season. Riley O'Brien's had a pretty good year. He's in the All-Star game tonight. But what have you made of this bullpen as a whole?
Yeah, I think at times they look really good as a collective group, and at times they leave something to be desired. And that's somewhat just the nature of bullpens overall. Riley O'Brien's having a fantastic season. He's sitting there with 24 saves, which is amongst the tops in baseball and in the National League. But you also look at a guy who in the month of May had a 6 ERA, in the month of June had a 5.4 ERA. So he's had his moments where he's been really, really dominant, and he's had his moments where he hasn't been. And I think we can say that about just everybody in the bullpen. I think Oliver Marmol does a really good job of pushing the right buttons when it comes to that. They've also been worked so hard. Yeah, a lot of fans were giving the Cardinals a fair amount of grief for the way they handled their pitching, especially during that 5 games in 4 days against Milwaukee, where Schuster got called up for a game and Zimmerman got called up for a game, and they were staying away from a bunch of their high leverage guys. And those guys just weren't available. And that's not something that's advertised before games get started of who's going to be available and who's not. But it wasn't a coincidence that somebody like George Soriano, who has pitched a ton, he's got 40-plus appearances in the first half of the season, he all of a sudden just did not pitch for a few days. He didn't have anything left. He had given everything he could, and they were in a really, really tough spot from a pitching standpoint. So hopefully this All-Star break does a little bit to help that. But no matter what, it's a group that's been used a ton. I mean, Justin Brule, 42 appearances. Graceffo has 39 appearances plus some time at Memphis. Riley O'Brien, 39 appearances. JoJo Romero, 44. Soriano and Stanek are each at 41, and Stanek took some time off on the paternity list. Matt Sponson's at 36 plus time at Memphis. You've got a ton of guys who have been used, probably too much, but they've just been in a situation where they didn't have much of a choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's going to be fun to see what this team looks like after the All-Star break. It'll be fun to see those Cardinals in action tonight in the All-Star game. But, Matt, as always, thanks so much, especially this week being All-Star week. We really appreciate you giving us some time. We'll definitely have to do this again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Matt Pauley joining us from the Cardinals Network, KMOX, talk all things Cardinals. And it will be fun tonight watching those Cardinals in the All-Star game, and then to see kind of what direction this team goes in after the break.
Very kind to Matt, because everybody in baseball, they don't get many days off.
No.
And they really value them. Yes. And so that was very kind of him to join us. There's no catching Milwaukee to win the division.
No.
Would you just take a wild card, 5 or 6, or do you want to be the 4 and host?
Oh man! After the last couple of seasons, you and kind of the outlook on the season that going into the year, you just take a wild card spot. If you're in the postseason, that is a massive victory for the St. Louis Cardinals. I think even if you're right outside, it's still a big victory.
And I want you guys to hold me to that first week October. If the Cardinals are the 6th seed, they open at Truist against the 3. Probably the Braves. It could be the Phillies. They could be going back to Citizens Bank where the All-Stars are tonight and get swept in rather ugly style 2-0. Check me. Don't let me lose my mind over it.
I got you. Yeah, no, I think, even if it is ugly, I think it would be a very successful season for the St. Louis Cardinals. They're just in it. So, we'll see.
And then I'll write those preseason picks off. Just fandom.
Well, I think you'd still be the winner because nobody had them in the postseason.
But if they advance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if they advance.
You'll never hear the end.
No. Definitely not. Definitely not. So
there's a parade down Market Street. I will be the worst ever to be around.
Man. Well, you'll be leading the parade. I mean, they'll have a card just for you with the preseason predictions leading the way. So it's got to happen.
I really should be in the parade.
You definitely should be. I mean, we can go ahead and start that if this is the year. I mean, we can go ahead and start getting it ready. I don't know if I want to start that type of planning, but I am the guy that has the route for the Cowboys in my back pocket, so I really can't say much. But let's go ahead and get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk some NBA.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals? They start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We've seen days, even what seems like weeks of soaking rain, damaging hail, and even flooding. So today, do one simple thing. Look up. If you see a water stain, bubbling paint, or discoloration on your ceiling, don't ignore it. What starts as a small roof leak can quickly become mold, turning a minor problem into a major expense. At Metro Builders Memphis, our professionals will inspect your roof, assess any storm damage, help mitigate further damage. We'll measure your roof from outer space and guide you through the repair or replacement process with an estimate on site with multiple options at that. Don't let them tell you your roof needs to be replaced when all it may need is some love. We'll give you an honest assessment so you can make the right decision for your home and family. At Metro Builders Memphis, call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or simply book your appointment online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
It's golf time. What's my first thought? Miramichi. Of course, Miramichi. Sometimes you need just to escape the hustle and bustle of life, and that's exactly what Miramichi will provide. It means the place of happy retreat, and I promise you, it lives up to its name. While it might not be in the heart of Shelby County, it's certainly worth the drive. It's 25 minutes from my driveway in East Memphis. Once you arrive at the front door, you know you're going to get an experience unlike any other public golf course in town. Let's start with practice facilities. Not all are created equal, and you will find none better than those at Miramichi. The range is an impressive 12-acre space. It allows you to spread out and practice for those long drives. They got a great short game place. They've got a chipping green. They've got a putting green. They're beyond compare. You want to get better? You go to Miramichi. You want a great competitive golf course? You go to Miramichi. It's worth the drive. I love it. Miramichi.
It's time for SEC Media Days. Join Brett Norsworthy as he broadcasts live from Tampa next Monday through Thursday, previewing the upcoming SEC football season and brings you interviews with players, coaches, and SEC insiders. Tune into Sports Time with Stats and Bryant Dacus from 3 to 6, and also hear from Stats throughout the day for SEC Media Days coverage on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville, Ronnie Grisani, Sissy's Log Cabin, Capitol Grill, Bangers Pickleball, and Jimmy McElroy and Associates.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we continue to wait on LeBron James to make a decision on where he will play the 2026-27 NBA season. Still, I mean, really nothing new since yesterday. We still wait. I go back to the Shams report, the hit that he did on ESPN yesterday where he said LeBron James is inching closer and closer to a decision. He really is inching. I mean, it is just an inch at a time, almost an inch a day to try to ultimately get to his decision. And, who knows? It feels like it's going to be one of those where, when we kind of least expect it, we'll get that Shams bomb, and we'll be LeBron James is heading to X, Y, or Z.
He's not going to let it get lost in all-star stuff tonight, is he?
I certainly hope not. I just think it's one of those things that why would you at that point? Maybe he does it just to be that guy. But you've got all day. It's not like this is something where it has to be at a specific time. So I would hope not. We could see it where it's right before the All-Star game, but I would hope that he doesn't time it out to that. Because, he's probably not paying much attention to the Major League Baseball All-Star game, but he at least knows that it's happening.
He might want to Bigfoot it.
Sure, he might, but I just don't see a reason to
and that
to do
would.
that. Oh, it definitely would, but what's the reason to do that? Just because you can? I don't know. You got all the time in the world. I just think that would be extremely petty thing to do for really no reason. So I hope he doesn't do it, but you never know. It could happen
tomorrow night. ESPYs.
I could not tell you.
I couldn't either.
ESPYs are. I have
and
no clue.
usually around this time, I'm already
night.
I'm already at SEC Media Days. I have never watched 1 second of the ESPYs, and I'm not much on award shows.
Yeah, I've watched it. I haven't watched one in probably 10 years. I didn't even know they were still having the ESPYs, if I'm being very honest. So yeah, tomorrow night, the ESPYs. Maybe he does it at the ESPYs. Maybe they bring him on stage and he makes his decision at the ESPYs.
Have Jim Gray with a special
very
special introduction.
Yeah, that'd be very on brand. But it could happen at any moment. It feels like every time, and Shams might have tweeted something today. I haven't really been paying attention, but it feels like every time that I see a Shams notification, I kind of, is this the LeBron news? And it hasn't been it yet, so we'll see if it at some point this week. Hopefully, we get that notification that LeBron's chosen a destination. And
kind of the last real big player movement we're waiting on, isn't it?
Yeah, there's still some restricted free agency out there. Obviously, here we're all keeping an eye on Jalen Duren, on kind of what happens there, as it does not seem like they're any closer on coming to terms on a new deal. But it feels like LeBron James, and then it kind of feels like the trickle-down effect of maybe some smaller deals for those teams that are trying to get LeBron James. But yeah, he's definitely the big fish, the only big fish left, it seems like. And then we'll kind of get some more minor deals. Hopefully, we'll get some of these restricted free agencies worked out, and then we'll be getting ready for preseason.
I was asked this today by a good friend who is a big-time Grizzlies fan. What's the starting lineup opening night right now? Run through it for me. We've done this once.
Yeah. I think it is, still obviously some unknown on who all's on the roster, but I would say, if he's healthy, Zach Edey's going to be the starting center. Boozer at the 4, Said at the 3. I think the 2 is where it gets really interesting. You could either go with, Grant, he could be the starter if he's still on the roster. I have my questions on if he's still around to start the season. He could be the starter, or you could go Jalen Wells at the 2.
I went Wells.
And then Ty Jerome at the 1. That would be my starting 5. I'm sorry that I went in reverse order. I don't know why.
I think I went Scottie Pippen and Ty Jerome first off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you could, make your decision on that. I think both really quality players, but, what I saw in Ty Jerome at the end of the season last year, what he did with Cleveland before coming over here, I would place him ahead of Scottie Pippen if I was making the starting lineup.
And on the Grizzlies front, we are all in mourning and sadness for our friend DeMichael Cole, who announced on his Twitter account earlier today that he had lost his mother. She passed away, and he was very close to her. And I've reached out, and I know you probably have as well, and so many have. DeMichael is an extraordinary, exceptional, great guy, not to mention the writer and the wordsmith that he is and how much fun he is about it. We know he's hurting, and I texted to him. I know that losing Mom hurts and hurts forever, but we really send out our best to DeMichael. He is a really fine person.
Yeah, no, well said. Obviously we have him on once a week throughout the basketball season, and he does a fantastic job covering the Grizzlies. But it's so much fun whenever we see him, at games, or I know we'll see him here in a couple weeks, hopefully at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. So just always fun to see him out and about, and he's just always so upbeat, always just in a really good mood, and kind of makes you, happy when you see him. And
sure does.
Just hate that he's going through this, and
sure
definitely thoughts and prayers out to him.
She was so proud of him, and rightfully so.
Absolutely. No, definitely really, really sad news, and definitely our thoughts and prayers out to him and his family. But let's go ahead and get to another break. When we return, we'll talk some college football. Brent Beer from First Coast News in Jacksonville, he joins us next.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Huey's has been serving the Memphis community since 1970. In this local, family-owned restaurant, you'll find a casual setting and laid-back atmosphere, where entertainment includes writing on graffiti walls and listening to live music every Sunday. Huey's has been voted best burger in Memphis every year since 1984, and most kid-friendly for more than 30 years. With 10 locations across Memphis and North Mississippi, there's sure to be a Huey's close by. Huey's Restaurants, blues, brews, and burgers for over 55 years.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Looking for that perfect piece that says forever? As did Grammy winner Lainey Wilson for her engagement. Discover the elegance of Holly Winter fine jewelry in Germantown. From stunning custom designs and engagement rings to timeless gifts she'll treasure for years, Holly Winter offers personalized service and beautiful fine jewelry for every occasion. Visit Holly Winter Fine Jewelry at the Shops of Forest Hill on Poplar, where Memphis finds sparkle, style, and something truly special. Holly Winter Fine Jewelry, 9155 Poplar, Suite 18.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Hey, you ready to bang? Bangers Pickleball in South Haven is now open with 10 courts, a restaurant, and 3 bars. New to pickleball? No problem. Take a free Bangers 101 class to learn. Bangers offers a great time for everyone, and there's no membership required. Bangers even has events for you non-pickleballers like mahjong, trivia, whiskey, and wine tasting. Bangers Pickleball has it all. All the rage, all the fun, all for you. Please dink responsibly at Bangers Pickleball, 6787 Snowden Lane, South Haven, Mississippi. Let's bang.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. So far, so good. Trying to sneak through the Midtown area. Now that's building pretty good. Southbound on 240 and South Parkway. It's increased with that volume over here in both directions. Already on 240 between Poplar and Walnut Grove. Trying to get south of Memphis this afternoon has been a little bit of a challenge with some radar down 55 throughout South Haven. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck having transmission problems. Let them check out your vehicle at Amco Transmissions, 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Tuesday afternoon. And España, they have punched their ticket to the World Cup finals.
Viva la Spain.
That's right. 2-0 win for Spain. They'll get the winner of tomorrow's game between Argentina and England. But France, don't go anywhere because you've got the consolation game coming up as well. So it's not over.
They love the consolation prize.
Yeah, I'm sure the French are very excited about the consolation game. We got to talk some college football. We do it at this time every single Tuesday with Brent Beard.
College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Brent Beard joins us now to talk all things college football from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. Brent, a lot to get into, but ACC Media Days get started tomorrow. In the ACC, what team or teams are you most intrigued about going into the season?
Well, there are several. Good afternoon, guys. It's great to be with you. Florida State's up first, but as Brett told me years ago, your Brett, not my Brett, that sometimes if you're up first and you get this stuff out of the way, somehow it helps. So maybe for Florida State, then they come in right after Jim Phillips, and then Miami does the same. I mean, look, guys, we're 2.5 hours away from Tallahassee here in Jacksonville. As you can imagine, a lot of eyes on this state are on, number one, the Gator resurgence, supposedly at Florida, and then the improvement of Miami that continues. But yeah, they're really wondering when do the wheels fall off this year in Tallahassee.
You know, there's a lot of talk about the Gators resurgence, but we've been hearing that talk for a while now. We got to see it, don't we?
Well, we do. There's no doubt about that. I think what you've got here, though, Summerall, the new Florida head coach, has done several things correctly. To his credit, I mean, he has gone to almost every media entity that would interview him, and frankly done a pretty good job in doing so. I mean, he's kind of laid down the law with them that, you know, as coaches always do in their first year. I think there really is some optimism. And look, the optimism is not that they're going to win the SEC. The optimism is, could they have a winning season and make a bowl game, which would be important. It's a whole lot more concern about Florida State. And Miami is, frankly, right now jumping up and down, and their fans are about as happy as they can be after having a difficult time the last several years. So it's an interesting state of football right now, is it not?
Why the Tom Herman hire to help the FSU offensive staff this close to the start of the season? To me, Brent, it screamed, we've got to get Norvell help.
Yes. Yeah. And I don't think there's any question about that. And again, look, as you remember, they had 2 years in a row to where they were one of the top teams in the country, and things have fallen off considerably. And look, when you look at what they've got now in September with SMU at home on the Monday night of Labor Day, and then you get a week off, then you go to Tuscaloosa. They at this point, they really hope they're competitive in those games, and that the wheels don't fall off early. But we've already looked at this. The Halloween date is Clemson. And again, as you guys know, if you're going to fire a coach, often now it gets done by then, not at the end of the year. So these next few weeks are going to be very crucial in Tallahassee.
That's fork in the road game for both, isn't it? Halloween.
Oh yeah, listen, there's no question about that. I mean, Clemson's got as much trouble, and they need as good a year as Florida State does. I don't think there's any question about that. And I will say, guys, that there's some interesting subplots that are going to be going on. People are curious about Virginia Tech, obviously with their new coach, and who comes from Penn State. Where's that going to be? Georgia Tech has, believe it or not, Georgia Tech has a lot of excitement right now. Now, they lost some of their coaches that went to Florida, which is interesting. But to Brett's point, they're of all the coaches in this conference who need a big year, besides Mike Norvell, Dabo Swinney is one of them.
It's a fun opening week 0 for all of college football. I have contended for a while now, this is about as much meat on the bone for week 0 as we've ever gotten. And for the ACC, a lot of it centers around them. Well, they'll kick off the first game of the day will be North Carolina playing TCU in Dublin. Later that afternoon in Charlottesville, not a league game, but 2 ACC teams, NC State and Virginia. The AC and later that day, Stanford hosting Hawaii.
Yeah, and you know, and look, I know they've got a supposedly cupcake. Florida State plays in too. Before they actually,
that's right, they do.
Yeah. Before that, the Labor Day, and that's going to be a huge game against SMU. I'm just telling you guys, they just refurbished that stadium, but people may forgot this. They didn't build a new one; they just refurbished what they had. The new stadium in Tallahassee is going to be a real plus for them. Boy, oh boy! Well, what you don't want to do is basically start your first few weeks of the season with a loss to SMU, and then you go to Tuscaloosa to play Alabama and lose that game too.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You've mentioned SMU a couple of times. What do you expect this season from the Mustangs? Kevin Jennings, their starting quarterback, back again. It feels like he's been there forever, but he's back. And you talk about bringing back experienced quarterbacks in college football. That is a huge plus. What do you expect from SMU this year?
I think a lot about what you just said. And guys, as you know, SMU. One of those schools that they've got, I'm not going to say they've got the money they don't need anymore. I don't know, but they're close with that, frankly. Yes, the FSU starts their season. And then, look, and I don't know, people have talked about this enough. The third game of the year, they go to Louisville.
Yeah.
And what's going to be a humongous game for them, frankly. Now the schedule lightens up, and they should have a pretty good year before it's over. But yeah, I would agree. Kevin Jennings, the quarterback, was hurt last year. He's back this year and doing well. So this whole conference to me is very interesting, to say the least. With Miami being the bell cow right now.
The ACC really can, after the first 2 or 3 weekends of play, can say y'all take us seriously, or a lot of the rest of college football can say go away ACC.
Yeah. They've got the opportunity to make a statement. Now we've been talking the ACC for several minutes, and we've yet to bring up North Carolina. And their illustrious coach
for good reason. It's not a story, is it?
Well, and to Brad's point, it's not. And the question is, are they going to do something this year to make it a story?
And they very well may. I watched a lot of Big 12 or some of Big 12 last week, and I saw what appeared to me to be, I would say, overwhelming to a really good number of media and attendees. I think we'll see the same starting tomorrow morning with the ACC. And I bring all this up, Brent, for as long as I've been going to SEC media days, I hear, kind of out from it in March, April, May. It's passé. It's no big deal anymore. Nobody's going. Well, I get a thing today from the league, and I see 44 tables at Digital Drive, Radio Row.
Oh, yeah.
That's about how many was there last year in Atlanta. Might have been a few more than that in Dallas a few years ago. And I think in some peak years at the Winfrey in Birmingham, where they literally had to spill out into the mall, out into the Galleria, it might have got into the 50s. At each table, I see an average. I'm trying to guess. I would say an average of 3 or 4 representatives from each station. So 3 or 4 times 44. Well, there's nothing passé about college football. It's the number 2 sport in the country, and the SEC's right in the middle of it all.
It is. There's no doubt about it. I remember that year or years in Birmingham, Brian. I've got a shoe shine guy just right outside. Brett remembers this.
Yeah,
got a shoe shine guy who, frankly, does a really good job.
Yeah,
and he is just right, basically.
One of the shows put him on out there. They had to set up overflow by the shoe shine stand.
Oh, man.
He listen. He loved it because he was getting a lot of service from that too. Now, one thing that we haven't mentioned here that we need to mention is, and they will slow play this, I'm sure, and I'll be interested to see if Jim Phillips basically does what they did with the Big 12. But there will be plenty of conversation of, Commissioner, we in the media are hearing that you're losing a couple of teams to the SEC and a couple of teams to the Big Ten. Do you have any comment on that? Look, that's coming. We all three know it's coming. they may basically ignore it. And I'm sure they probably will, like they did in the Big 12. But look, at least the talk in the hallway, that's going to be brought up quite a bit, is it not?
You know the personality I really miss. I miss a lot of people from yesteryear at SEC Media Days, but especially when I was in the mornings and I would get up really, really early and would go out into the mall to the nice concession stand out there, and a nice lady and her family, they were from Guatemala, and she ran the stand. But I would get out there so early, Bryant, that the big ream, the big sheath of Birmingham newspapers would be out there, and I would take one out of the bunch, but I would go back later in the day and always pay her for it, and I would visit with her, and she was really sad when she knew that was the end of Media Days coming there.
Oh yeah. Well,
she loved seeing everybody every year.
Oh yeah. And look, I won't get into this very, very deeply, but I mean, it's just the small things. I mean, there was no issue with parking, was it, Brett?
If you got there really early, you could get a good slot right there at the front door, like I would, and never moved the car all week.
Oh yeah, that's right, absolutely. So, and then there was no doubt you had something to eat, everywhere you turn. So, but anyway, it would be a very interesting Wednesday through Friday with Media Days and some of the subplots going on. And look, we can't ignore this. That's one of the big subplots is the SEC getting very possibly North Carolina and Virginia, and then the aforementioned Florida State, Miami, maybe going to the Big Ten or somewhere else.
So I've been hearing it forever. I had an SEC official tell me 2 years ago in February it's going to be done by springtime, and now here we are, 30 months later.
Yeah, well, it still gives us something to talk about. It's still, and it still makes the news cycle every few weeks. So yes.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does that. Maybe that's what they're doing. Let's give people enough time to talk about it on and on and on and on for year after year. I'm just curious, how much do you think the idea, maybe not of the SEC expanding immediately, but obviously with all the talk of the Protect College Sports Act and the big talk about, what was it, a couple of weeks ago when, it was out there of, this could block conferences from expanding anymore. How much do you think that will be talked about next week at SEC Media Days?
Oh, well, look, anything and everything is fair game to be talked about there. So, and we will hear that too. Now, the thing I've heard and read is if some of these things, if they think some of these things are coming down, do they go ahead and make some kind of a move or a preliminary move early on? We don't know. As far as some of this expansion stuff, look, expansion's been the greatest rumor ever in college football, and going from one conference into the other always stirs people up. But that's going to be interesting to see if their hand may be forced to take action before they want to, if they do.
Which one of these two coaches and two schools that have had a lot of winning the last few years, and through the years it's always been tough at both places to win, that you think it's coming to an end for? Eli Drinkwitz at Mizzou or Clark Lee at Vandy?
It would be easy to say Clark Lee at Vandy because they haven't been consistent in winning. But the reality is, Lee's shown that they can win there. I guess I would still have to say Vanderbilt in that, in just because of that. If he was to leave after this year, would they go through another cycle to where they're 3-9 again or something like that? So which really tells you what he's done has been impressive. But yet at the same time, Missouri they've done pretty well too. They haven't had that 11-1 year yet, and that some people think they might. I don't know if they will. They really need to get Ahmad Hardy ready physically and psychologically after being shot a few weeks ago. I understand he's doing fine physically. Hope he is mentally too. But that's a good question. I would almost still have to say Vanderbilt because I'm used to saying Vanderbilt with a question like that.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. We're talking with Brent Beard. He joins us every single Tuesday, talk college football from First Coast News in Jacksonville. I know we're talking a lot of media days and these football teams, but the big news out of Michigan that Ward Manuel could be out soon as they've been investigating what's been going on in that athletic department. What'd you make of that news earlier this week that we could see a change at the AD spot at Michigan?
I wonder how deep and wide that goes.
Yeah.
Frankly, I was listening to that on the way home, and of all the, gosh, you know, when you hear stuff like that, you really wonder how much football do they actually coach. But that's a murky swamp, to say the least, and stuff coming out with what happened is this is tabloid stuff, frankly. But unfortunately, it sounds like it's true. We don't know all this stuff yet, but you know, they've really got to hope that they can get to the source of this and deal with it, because I think you're right. There may be several heads roll in this situation.
Yeah.
But they've got a great coach in there, and they've got a lot better coach now than they had in the one that caused a lot of the controversy.
Yeah.
I just wonder what they have in Bryce Underwood at quarterback. I know how acclaimed he was out of high school, and I know that the high points last year were really good, but when you balance the whole year out, I saw a guy that kept both teams in the game.
Yeah, that's well said. And look, Amber, anything you read or hear about Underwood, somewhere in the discussion is, he's shown flashes, but things haven't come together yet. So look, if you're a fan of that school, you've got to wonder when the world is that going to happen.
It sounds like Lenore Sellers to me.
Yeah, look, it really does, doesn't it? That's as good of a comparison for that as I've heard. Now, Lenore Sellers, I still wonder if he's had the offensive line that can help him out with that. You would think at Michigan that wouldn't be an issue, but apparently there are several issues there. So no, it's a crucial year this year for Michigan. Yes.
And play Oklahoma early in the year, week 2. Michigan opens against Western Michigan, and then they host Oklahoma. Went out to Norman last year and lost a close game, but they host OU this year. Yeah,
that's going to be a fascinating game. To say the least. I'll tell you one thing: we've got some good games in September, don't we?
Mm-hmm. We do. Opening weekend lacks a little. It does. And it will get panned a little bit. I mean, get ready for the same ones that are going to write next week that SEC Media Days is stodgy and not necessary. They're going to write that week 1. We waited all summer for this. Well, don't go then. Don't go and call your editor and go, not interested, and see how that goes over.
Yeah, really. Oh, yeah. And I guarantee the readers will be interested, to say the least. But no, that's
the readers are ready for Kentucky and Youngstown State.
Yeah, well, sure they are. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no question about that. Yeah. So, but the opening weekend is not the pizzazz that it is. More. There's more the second, third week of September.
It is.
And particularly the first weekend of November, I think people are salivating for that more than they are the first weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there are a couple of red banner days for sure this year for college football.
Yeah.
Maybe nothing better than the weekend of November 7th, but there are a couple in October that are just as good.
Yeah.
I don't know how the SEC is going to place everybody on TV and get everybody at a good time. And somebody's going to complain about being at 11 o'clock.
Well,
of course they will. Yeah. Well, look, and I get that. But the reality is, and I think we all know, eventually week 0 is going to become week 1. And it's just going to be hot. That's just the way it is. And, we don't particularly have to like it, but, if you're going to have all these games on TV, in September, somebody's going to play at 11 o'clock. That's just the way it is. So that's the thing.
And ABC is one of those 11 o'clock games. I mean, they have three, 11, 2:30, and the night game. Those are the premier games now. That's the CBS 2:30 game now.
Yes. Yeah. That's a good analogy, yes.
Yeah, no, it really is. Before we let you go, Brent, talking about Vanderbilt a couple minutes ago, it looks like, I got the Athlon magazine in front of me. It looks like the freshman Jared Curtis will be the starting quarterback for them. Obviously, a big-time quarterback the last couple of years that made a lot of headlines, now going to a highly regarded freshman. What do you think that looks like this year?
Well, I think that's going to be fascinating, frankly. He'll be different, obviously, but at the same time, I mean, are they close to being good enough to where that their team is so solid that if the quarterback is not as flashy as they've had, that they could still do well. I mean, look, to me, Vandy at 8-4 still would still be a pretty good season for them.
Well, heck yeah,
absolutely. So I don't see any complaints. But look, you guys are closer to him than we are. But I like Clark Lee. I like his attitude. I like what he's done. They're tougher. Or they can win the national championship. No. But
he said they would.
They're in a much better shape than they were.
But he said they would, and we laughed at him.
Well, I'll tell you one thing.
He's laughing now.
Listen, there are a lot of schools that like to have the problems that he has right now, wouldn't they?
On the quarterback front, the SEC, here's one that everybody next week when you fill out quarterback lists and all conference lists, people need to be mindful of what Jeff Lebby has at Mississippi State in Kamario Taylor. He's going to be a star.
Look, I agree with that, and I'm not.
He beat somebody this year, maybe a couple of somebodies this year that they don't see it coming.
Oh yeah. Tell you one thing, Brett, could you make the argument that the state of Mississippi has very easily two of the best quarterbacks anywhere?
Well, I hadn't thought about it like that until now, and you sure could.
I mean, look, with we know what Trinidad can do, and I think that's a great point.
360 in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be one of the fascinating things, really, about this year in the league. What we've got in the quarterbacks, and my goodness. We got more head coaches who are new than anything we've had in quite a while. It's going to be a fascinating year, and SEC media days is going to be very interesting too.
Sure will be.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun next week. Brent, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
And we look forward to doing this in person. How exciting is that?
Can't wait. You can hang at the table anytime you want.
I appreciate it, brother. Look forward to seeing you guys next week, okay?
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you, Brent. Brent Beard with us from down in Jacksonville at First Coast News, and he will be at SEC Media Days next week. The quarterback depth and heft in the SEC, I think's gotten a little lost in, the Big Ten's ahead right now. Sure. I don't know how clear I can say that. The Big Ten has earned it. They should be designated as that. But don't just write off the SEC as something in the forgotten long ago past.
No, definitely not. And, you look around and you look at all these guys that not only are coming back from last year, but have been, with these programs for multiple seasons. And that is huge in this era of college football when we're relying so much on the transfer portal. To have that continuity, especially at the quarterback position, is massive. And so, a lot of familiar names, but then you talk about some of those younger guys that are going to step into bigger roles. You talk about, a team like Vanderbilt bringing in a 5-star true freshman. I mean, it is
everybody wanted.
That's exactly right. I mean, what was he committed to Georgia, or was it really strong lean to
close.
Georgia? But was very close to going
Once
to Georgia.
Once upon a time, he goes there.
Yeah, no question. And so the fact that that type of guy is now going to be starting, likely as a true freshman at Vanderbilt. I mean, that is really, really good stuff, and is going to make it a really exciting season.
if Kentucky has anything to protect Kenny Minchie, he's going to have a big year. Yes, Arch Manning deserves a lot of the top line accolades, and he's going to get them, but it is more than just him. But he deserves a lot of the attention, and he's going to get it. Landers Ford in Collierville, the title sponsor this hour for us, and they will be with us next week at SEC Media Days as the official transportation of SEC Media Days and at the golf tournament at the FedEx St. Jude Championship in August. The number one Ford dealership in the Mid-South, Landers Ford, your trusted destination for a vehicle that fits any lifestyle, any price point. They've got them. Seamless shopping experience from vehicle choice to financing and service, from the Ford Escape to the rugged F-150 to the adventurous Bronco. Every vehicle built with those Ford tough standards. The Ford F-150, number one, America's best-selling truck. The SUVs like the Ford Expedition, the Ford Escape, Ford Broncos, the Ford Explorer. Everything for now as well with the EVs and the hybrids and that transparency. What you see is what you get. No fine print. It's in bold print at Landers Ford in Collierville, with the professionalism and the long-term support that you will get, the long-term friendship that you will get with your sales rep and many other people at Landers Ford in Collierville. Anything service related, like oil changes or tires rotated, go online and schedule when it suits your busy schedule the very best. Landers Ford, active in our community in Collierville at 2082 West Poplar Avenue, or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Well, we need to get to another break. When we return, they've been rolling the highlights and the ads for it. We're only a couple hours away from the All-Star game tonight in Philadelphia. We'll talk a little bit about it. We'll also take a look at some of the previous rosters when the All-Star game has been in Philadelphia. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet piquilla peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes. Or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger-buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at NapaCafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Rick's Powder Coating, for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com. This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We're watching it build even more now on the 55 bridge headed over into West Memphis, Crittenden County, as it increases here in the last few minutes. Certain sections of Sam Cooper going outbound, especially as you come up past Perkins, as it builds now on 385 Billmores Parkway. That's only going to get heavier in the next 10-15 minutes as you head out towards Collierville. A bridal season is here. Shop local at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Here in a couple hours, we'll have the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. We've got it still on Fox in here from the France and Spain matchup, and they've been rolling a bunch of B-roll for the game tonight. They've shown outside the ballpark as people already getting out there and getting ready for that All-Star game tonight. Should be a lot of fun. I mean, the Home Run Derby last night was a blast, and no, it was not just because a St. Louis Cardinal won the Home Run Derby. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully tonight the All-Star game is a lot of fun as well.
Looks like we're rolling right from World Cup right into pregame. No local news in between.
Wow, how about that? Yeah, so I kind of thought maybe they would do that, but yeah, cool that they're gonna do that. What time does the coverage start for the All-Star game?
5:30.
Okay, cool. So yeah, they'll
they got a lot of filler.
They do have a lot of filler. That's gonna be a lot of time to talk the France and Spain game. Maybe they go into tomorrow preview for Argentina and England. But no, I'm excited about the All-Star game tonight.
I am too. All-Star game tonight. Here are the lineups. First base for the American League, Ben Rice. First base for the National League, Freddie Freeman. Second baseman, Ozzie Albies, National League. Ernie Clement, American League. Shortstops, Bobby Witt, American League. C.J. Abrams, National League. Third baseman, Junior Caminero and Max Muncy. Caminero with the Rays, Muncy with the Dodgers. Left fielders, Riley Green for the American League. Juan Soto for the National League. Center fielders, Andy Pages for the National League. Mike Trout for the American League. Homecoming for him. Big ovation coming. Right field, Cody Bellinger, American League. Right fielder, Brandon Marsh, National League. The backstops from the A's, Shea Langoliers for the American League and Drake Baldwin for the National League. These names are going to pale in comparison to these names from yesteryear. They are. I think some of them will hold. I think Freddie Freeman's on his way to the Hall of Fame.
No doubt about it.
Ozzie Albies could be. Juan Soto, I think, definitely will. Mike Trout's going. Ben Rice is very early. Bobby Witt, it's early, but I think on the career arc for it. Cody Bellinger,
yeah,
really good player. But they just need more time. When you compare them to these teams from 96 and 76, we've had the sweet test of time. That is the ultimate test. And you get to memorialize and mythologize a lot of these guys so much through all these years. Maybe not memorialize. Some of them may not be gone.
Yeah.
But I don't know that. Well, Pete Rose is, and he's not in the Hall of Fame, and we know that's about as big a joke as Barry Bonds not being in the Hall of Fame from the 96 team. Here's the starters for the American League in 96. First base, Mo Vaughn, once an MVP. He's never going to the Hall of Fame, but a really good player. I don't know better than Freddie Freeman, though.
I think very similar. Very similar.
Fred McGriff for the National League, he's in the Hall of Fame. Second baseman for the National League, Craig Biggio, he's in the Hall of Fame. American League, Roberto Alomar, he's in the Hall of Fame. That's tough for those guys from right now. Cal Ripken, shortstop. Barry Larkin, shortstop, both in the Hall of Fame. Wade Boggs, third base. Chipper Jones, third base. They're all in the Hall of Fame. These teams, the 90s were this good. And Brian, most people like me that love baseball spent most of the 90s complaining about it.
Well, yeah, but no, these are so far these names are as good as it can get.
Left field, National League, Barry Bonds. He should be in. We know why he's not. Ridiculous. Left field for the American League, Albert Bell, who once separated Fernando Vigna's nose from his face.
Well, yeah. Well, that's a good thing to be remembered as. I
He's
guess.
never going to the Hall of Fame.
No.
Boy, the outfield for the American League in that year, it was Team Cocky. Albert Bell in left, Kenny Lofton in center, and Brady Anderson in right.
Yeah, how about that?
Brady Anderson, he had the brief years, and I think we now know why. Center fielder for the National League in the 96 All-Star Game, Lance Johnson. Right fielder, Dante Bichette.
Yeah, how about that?
Familiar name from now.
Definitely.
Catchers, both in the Hall of Fame, and they both should be. Ivan Rodriguez and Mike Piazza. What lineups for those teams? I'm leaving out pitching.
Yeah, no, I was about to say.
I'm just going position players.
Yeah, and you can even go down to the reserves and still some really, really great names on both of these rosters. So yeah, I mean it's like I said, that's about as good as it gets when you look at all of those names on the starters. I mean, I'm looking at it now. You got Tony Gwynn down there as reserve for the NL team.
Pretty stacked.
That's when Tony Gwynn is a reserve, that's pretty good stuff. Ozzie Smith, a reserve.
That was his last year at 96.
Yeah, that's right. King Griffey Jr. reserve for the AL team. Same with Alex Rodriguez, Frank Thomas, Mark McGuire. I mean, good Lord,
Yeah.
this is really, really good stuff. Edgar Martinez. I mean, these are some rosters right here.
And I think it destroys 76. Here are the starters from 76 American League. Rod Carew, after the position change from second to first, he was a great second baseman, Rookie of the Year in 67 in the American League. National League Rookie of the Year that year was Tom Seaver. Two pretty good Rookies of the Year, isn't it? Steve Garvey, not a Hall of Famer, shouldn't be. National League first baseman. Second baseman in the Hall of Good, right there with Steve Garvey, but not in the Hall of Fame, Bobby Grich for the American League. And in Cooperstown, Joe Morgan. Should be in Cooperstown, his running mate for a lot of years, Dave Concepcion. How's he not in?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Really
Shortstop for the American League, one of my favorite players ever because of this. 6-letter palindrome. Hara, any way you spell it, you get Hara, Toby Hara for the Texas Rangers. George Brett, third baseman for the American League. I think he was a rookie that year, Hall of Fame. Third base for the National League. Pete Rose, not in the Hall of Fame, should be now. After his death, posthumously should be in. Left fielders, good, not great. Greg Luzinski, they stuffed the ballot that year for him. He shouldn't have been out there. Lou Brock should have been. Ron LaFleur in left for the American Leaguers. In center field, after being the Rookie of the Year and maybe even MVP in 75, Fred Lynn at the top of the list of Hall of Good.
No, it really is.
A strong case could be made for him. George Foster played in center, voted in. He was really a left fielder. And then Dave Kingman, kind of wonder with a lot of home runs and very little average in the National League. In right field for the American League, Rusty Staub. Who was he with in the American League that year?
That is a great question. Was it 76?
Yeah, because Tigers maybe? I always thought of Rusty Staub as Met or Astro.
Tigers in 76. Maybe.
Wow.
Wait. Huh. Yeah.
Great nickname in Montreal when he played there, Le Grand Orange. The best baseball player of all time ever out of the city of New Orleans.
Yeah.
And in the show with the Astros is a 19-year-old catcher for the National League, Johnny Bench, one of the 2 or 3 best catchers of all time and in the Hall of Fame. And for the American League in 76, Thurman Munson, who would be dead 3 years later, August 2nd, 1979, plane crash in Ohio. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Career cut short. I did look at the starting pitcher for 76 in the American League, and it was Mark the Bird Fidrich. There has never been a bigger one-hit wonder, one-season wonder. I mean, burst on the scene, what he did, and his antics, and the TV ratings that he drove the rest of the summer. And then later, and I don't know the full details, and I don't know if I want to know the full details, but really tragic death. Baseball was over. He was at his farm working on a piece of equipment. PTO shaft grabbed loose fitting. And caused the tractor to turn over, and he was suffocated. Just unimaginably bad, horrible death.
That's horrible.
But the bird burst on the scene in 76.
Well, good for him, cash in while you can.
I don't know if he won 15 games after that year.
Well, I can tell you, no, he did not. 6 wins in 77.
Wow.
Was also an All-Star in 77, even though he's 6-4. 2 wins in 78, so that gets him up to 8 wins. 0-3 in 79, and then in 1980, 2-3. So that is 10 wins after that one season. So that is incredible stuff right there. That is, honestly, that is unbelievable.
It was much watched TV.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that season, I mean, you look at that. I'm just looking at his numbers right now. That is unbelievable stuff. 19-9, a 2.34 ERA, 31 games. He appeared in 29 starts. He had 24 complete games. That's incredible. Yeah. In 29 starts.
There won't be that in the sport this year.
No,
in the show.
Not even close. That is unreal stuff. And then after that, it really falls off in a very unfortunate way. That's crazy.
Arm trouble and
that's wild.
And really sad ending.
Yeah.
96 wins the three examples, though, don't they?
Oh, it definitely does. That 96 roster, I mean, that could be like an all-time players roster. If you had just your pick of any player of all time, you would see a lot of those guys on those type of teams.
Just looking around that clubhouse.
Yeah, no, that is elite
the
stuff.
baseball signed by your teammates.
Yeah, that's
really
good stuff. That is kind of an unreal, right? And like I said, I mean, you can even go down into the reserves and find some just unbelievable players from those teams. So, yeah, that's hard to top. Now, like you said, when we started looking at this, it's hard to compare this year's roster just because we're in the middle of all these careers, but no way it's anywhere close to that 96 roster. That's really, really good stuff. But hope it's a fun game tonight. We talk about it all the time, the runouts tonight. Now, here's my question. I don't know if you know this, Brett. Connor, you might know it, but I don't know if you know it either. Did you notice the jerseys they were wearing last night in the home run derby? They were wearing their own jerseys, but the numbers on the jerseys were patriotic numbers. They were like the flag kind of in the numbers. Are they wearing the I'll just call them the patriotic numbers. Are they wearing the patriotic numbers in the All-Star game tonight, or was that just for the home run derby last night? I don't know.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't know if they are or not.
I would say probably not. Maybe just a little ode to Philadelphia.
Yeah, I hope that was just kind of a special for the home run derby.
Keep it simple.
Yes.
I just want regular unis.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but the first year that they went back to the regular jerseys, they still had the home run derby. Maybe even last year, they had the home run derby where they wore like a special jersey. So it might have just been something like that. They wore the patriotic numbers, and then we'll just have regular jerseys tonight. At least I hope that's what we get. But it will be a lot of fun tonight for the All-Star game. But let's go ahead and get to another break. And when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, you ready to bang? Bangers Pickleball in South Haven is now open with 10 courts, a restaurant, and 3 bars. New to pickleball? No problem. Take a free Bangers 101 class to learn. Bangers offers a great time for everyone, and there's no membership required. Bangers even has events for you non-pickleballers like mahjong, trivia, whiskey, and wine tasting. Bangers Pickleball has it all. All the rage, all the fun, all for you. Please dink responsibly at Bangers Pickleball, 6787 Snowden Lane, South Haven, Mississippi. Let's bang.
It's time to get your backyard ready for the ultimate pool party with a little help from Family Leisure. If you've been sitting on the fence about taking the plunge with a pool, now's the time to take the dive. You want an above-ground pool? Done. Starting at $39.99, and that's with installation. You want an in-ground pool? Take your pick. They start at under $50,000. Accessorize that pool with a patio furniture set starting at just $9.99. Outdoor sectionals? They start at $12.99. In fact, all in-stock patio furniture sets are priced to move. And with select patio furniture sets, you'll get a free umbrella and base. Okay, you aren't looking to get into a pool just yet? Family Leisure has hot tubs that start at just $34.99. Get in shape or stay in shape with a swim spa starting at $16,999. Get your backyard, front yard, side yard, whatever, ready for fun. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Never underestimate the value of a gift card. A gift card is a gift that requires very little effort on your part. Take, for instance, a gift card from Sunrise. It's good, obviously, at either Sunrise on Jefferson or Sunrise East on Poplar, and couldn't be simpler to get. You could grab one when you're having a delicious, fast, fresh breakfast or lunch made just for you, or, and this is really cool, you can get them at Sunrise's website. Go to Sunrise's website, and you can send a gift card by email or text. You can text someone a gift card for Sunrise.
It's time for SEC Media Days. Join Brett Norsworthy as he broadcasts live from Tampa next Monday through Thursday, previewing the upcoming SEC football season and brings you interviews with players, coaches, and SEC insiders. Tune into Sports Time with Stats and Bryant Dacus from 3 to 6, and also hear from Stats throughout the day for SEC Media Days coverage on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Brought to you by First National Bank and Trust, Jason's Deli, Gould's Salon and Spa, Jim's Place in Collierville, and All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I'm going to stick with the All-Star theme for my big number today. My big number is the number 53, 5-3. That is because Cody Bellinger and Ben Rice are both in the starting lineup for this year's AL All-Star team. It will be the 53rd Major League Baseball All-Star game that the Yankees have had at least 2 starters in the game. That is 16 more times than any other team in Major League Baseball history. Brett, do you know who is second most? Who has the next most with 37?
Dodgers.
Incorrect.
Cardinals.
The St. Louis Cardinals. That's exactly right. They've had 2 or more in 37 games. The Yankees, they lead the way by a wide margin with 53.
That's the big 3 teams all time, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yankees clearly in a league of their own.
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe more ahead than the NFL being the biggest sport right now.
I would say, yeah.
They're that far ahead in baseball. And then I think a hearty debate, Cardinals and Dodgers. Cardinals have more World Series. Dodgers been in it more. Yeah. And been in the mix a lot of times, and they're going to catch up on the World Series in these next few years with these dominant teams they have. I'm going to stay with All-Star Game tonight as well. And last night was Home Run Derby night, but I'm going to go with the record number of home runs for all time in All-Star games, and that's 6. And naturally, that's number 6, Stan the Man, a Cardinal, who played in a whopping, he played 22 years. This is new math here.
Okay.
He played 22 years in the show. He played in 24 All-Star games because we did have that stretch of 2 in 1 year for about 3 or 4 years, late 50s. Boy, they got wise to that.
Yeah,
not a lot of players want to go to 1, much less go to 2.
No. Yeah, you started adding multiple All-Star games in the same season. That is crazy right there.
But the greatest Cardinal ever has the record for most home runs in All-Star game. That's 6. That's going to be hard to be broken because what you get 1, maybe 2 at that. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe you get 2. Certainly, like, Schwarber tonight, like he'll get a couple just being the hometown guy. But yeah, I don't know. Like Ben Rice, I don't know how many at-bats Ben Rice is getting tonight. It might be 1 and done for him.
And how many people are going to play in 24 All-Star games?
Well, that's the other thing. It's that's stacking them up. Nobody, I can tell you this, I don't know how many are going to. I can guarantee you nobody in the next 22 years are going to play in 24 All-Star games.
No, it'd be impossible.
that change makes that very impossible.
And there's that great picture from this might have been one of the years that it had to. I don't know in 1962 if they had 2 or not, but it was in Washington at what is now RFK Stadium. I think it was Griffith Stadium then. And that picture of Stan Musial shaking hands with President Kennedy right there. And President Kennedy frozen in time. All the pictures stayed of him being young.
That's right.
But because of Dallas a year and a half later, but Stan Musial shaking hands with JFK.
Yeah.
And the last time, or in 76, in Cincinnati, the night Pete Rose ran over Ray Fosse, Nixon threw out the first pitch and did it like I told you how they used to do it. They wouldn't take them out to the mound.
Yeah.
They would do it from like a box area around the on-deck circle.
Yeah.
That was the first pitch of the game.
Interesting.
And I think that was the first president to be at an All-Star game in a long time. But JFK and Stan Musial, what a photo!
Yeah, no, that is an iconic photo for sure. So do we have a first pitch tonight, or do we have somebody throwing the first pitch tonight? I don't know.
You know something big, but I haven't heard anything from the political world.
No, I haven't heard anything for a first pitch, so I don't know what they have set up for that. Speaking of the kind of big time personalities, I didn't catch Michael Irvin last night on the Home Run Derby broadcast. I don't know at all. I never saw him.
Was he on?
I have no idea. I watched a lot of it.
I saw some criticism, of course, say good morning, and there's going to be criticism on Twitter about it, of some of the personalities on the broadcast team. Again, I don't want to spend a lot of brain power on trying to break down the All-Star game cast.
No, and he might have been, like I said, I did.
But I didn't see a word about Irvin.
Yeah, he might have been just maybe on the pregame coverage or something. Like I said, it started at 6 o'clock. I didn't turn it on until 7:30 when I think it was Wilson Contreras who started the night. He was taking his swing, so he could have been there before, but throughout the actual swinging portion, I never saw him. Now, I saw videos of him. I know he was there. The Philly fans were giving it to him.
Did he wear an 88 jersey?
I don't think he did. I don't remember what he was wearing, but I don't think it was a...
and yesterday was 47 days until the start of college football. He could have wore his 47 from the U.
He could have. He was wearing like a blue, it might have been a Cowboy shirt, but it was a cutoff. It was, a sleeveless shirt. And it was blue, so I don't know if it was
they're not going to intimidate him. If he'd wanted to wear 88, he would have.
No, that's exactly right. So but I noticed that while I was watching it, that I never saw him pop up and do anything.
Fearless going over the middle.
Oh, absolutely. And it's been fun to watch him this last couple years with him down at Miami, hanging out down
enjoying
there. So that has been really, really fun.
Well, he sure helped build it.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. But it'll be fun tonight with the All-Star game, as that will get started here in just a little bit. But we're going to get to a break here in a second. But before we do that, I do have to remind you that, yes, you might have heard the news, and it is true. East Memphis Ace Hardware is going out of business, but the time is now to go and save. They've got the big sales going on right now at East Memphis Ace Hardware, because just like always, they're taking care of you with their big going out of business sale. Everything in the store is 30% off. Everything, including the Big Green Egg and all Weber grills. Some things have additional savings, like Amy Howard paint at 75% off. So come in and save like it's goodbye, because it is. Save at least 30% on everything in the store. East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station in Quince, going out of business sale. Let's get to a break. When we return, we're talking the NFL. Bo Marchant, he joins us next.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, there's some things about the Rendezvous I want to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to-go orders. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the Rendezvous can be packed to go. Brett, we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the Rendezvous because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear, please listen carefully for our menu has changed. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of their mother's maiden name, dial it now. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
Since 1948, the Rendezvous.
It's true. East Memphis Ace Hardware is closing. But just like always, they're taking care of you with a big going out of business sale. Everything in the store is 30% off. Everything, including the Big Green Egg and all Weber grills. Some things have additional savings, like Amy Howard paint at 75% off. Come in and save like it's goodbye, because it is. Save at least 30% on everything in the store. East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince, going out of business.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock's backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $3 million for the most comprehensive plan. So if your money is stolen due to identity theft, they've got your back. If you have personal expenses while resolving identity theft, they've got your back. They'll pay for travel, extra child care. LifeLock has your back. Need coverage for lost wages because work had to take a back seat throughout the year? You guessed it. They got your back. Plus, there's coverage if you need to pay fees for lawyers and experts to resolve your case. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. It can be ugly. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join today, 30%, up to 30% off year one with the promo code HERD, H-E-R-D. Call 1-800-LifeLock or go to LifeLock.com. The promo code is HERD to save 30%. Terms apply.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Still a bit slow on 40 westbound on the Hernando de Soto Bridge, pushing over into West Memphis, Crittenden County, because of an earlier accident. Again, a little bit of extra time in that area for the next few minutes. It was already getting heavy in that area on the bridge as it starts to pick up South Memphis here on 55 down through South Haven. Lots of radar out here. Give yourself extra time. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse when your car or truck having transmission problems. Come to Amco Transmissions here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet at 7450 Highway 64 in Bartlett. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
To Sports Time, Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Tuesday afternoon. We've got to talk the NFL. We do it at this time every single week with Bo Marchant.
National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now to talk the NFL. A lot to get into. We'll get to our AFC South quarterback and coach rankings a little bit later in the segment. But Bo, thanks so much for joining us. We get closer and closer to the NFL season. And I saw this story earlier today on CBS Sports. I think it was actually posted yesterday, but it's talking about Baker Mayfield, and he's now talking about some of his injuries that he went through last year after the really strong start to the season and then the really, really rough ending to the year. He says that throughout the season last year, he sprained his MCL and PCL in week 2, had a bicep and tendon injury in week 3, aggravated a bone bruise in week 7, and had an AC joint injury in week 12. I mean, talk about being injured.
Well, the first thing I want to talk about is DraftKings and teams releasing injuries and being honest with bettors.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's the first thing that I think about when these conversations come up, because when you get that injury list, questionable, doubtful, those are the things you want to know. And then when it comes, behold, that you read something like this today where all these injuries are going on and he sustained those, and we saw the downfall of the Buccaneers in his play, and towards the end, we knew he was hurt. I mean, there was no question. We knew Baker Mayfield was banged up. But those are the little things I like to think about is, the betting industry is, infiltrates itself. Half the summer we talked about Brandon Sorsby and his issues. And, I guess we could flip it on the other side where teams, when are we going to start holding teams accountable for addressing the real issues of players before you make your wager? And I hope that comes to that. I doubt it does, because, we're the little people that are worried about the players and just the business. But Baker Mayfield, we know he's played fantastic. We've talked about him in the MVP, sections when we comment on the season when it starts and when he gets hot. And, Brett, we both love Baker Mayfield coming out. He was the first pick of the draft, and he was my favorite quarterback of that draft class. So, he's not the guy that maybe he turned out, franchise quarterback for Cleveland, but nonetheless, I don't think you could say he's not been a good quarterback.
He has been a good quarterback, and he's always going to have those injuries at the end of the year with the style of play that he's never changing. We know he's going to play all out like that, just like you saw in college. I'll love him to the end of time for that Rose Bowl performance, even in a loss for OU as the reigning Heisman Trophy winner in one of the top 2 or 3 games I've ever been to in my life. And those Cleveland years, I go back to his Cleveland record. I love reminding people of this. He was 29-30. I bet Cleveland would trade for that.
Listen, and I tell everybody, especially, I'm an hour from Cleveland, so I'm here in Northeast Ohio. That was just the relationship. You remember the Odell Beckham, and you had it was just an awful situation. He wasn't getting the ball, and it was just comments, and I think Odell Beckham's dad. It was just Baker Mayfield could not win the situation no matter what, and unfortunately it didn't work out. And I will admit, when they said they were making the move to bring in Deshaun Watson, again at that moment during that span, I thought Deshaun Watson was fabulous, and even coming off his last season with the Houston Texans, I thought he was an MVP candidate. I thought, the statistics weren't there, but his level of play I thought was fabulous. And lo and behold, once, Watson got to Cleveland, I don't need to tell you the rest of the story, but we know it arguably could be maybe one of the worst trades in the history of not only NFL sports, but in all sports, when you think about what Cleveland gave up in terms of, the draft capital and then the guaranteed money, and they've basically got zero return on their buck.
Zero return. So Baker Mayfield, if he can stay upright, he can have another good year, but he's always going to be beat up at the end with the style of play that has. Bo, you are so right on releasing the right injuries for gambling. The league, they're not hip deep; they're up to their neck in it. They should be, but if you're going to get in business with them, then we got to know the truth.
Yeah, and that's the part that coaches don't want to do. Belichick was legendary for it, and most teams are. And I cover the Steelers. There's so many, and it's not even the injury fact of it, but we go down to OTAs or practices. We can't tell you. We can't literally write a story about who started at left tackle. They have their stranglehold on what we can say and what we're not allowed to say. But when it comes to that, the internal stuff, and again, you're going to wager your money. You want to think that what you're doing is at least, hey, at least it's fair. It's
got to be straight up.
Straight up. And I don't want to talk about, I don't know if we're going to talk about, gambling, but right when, this was brought up, the first thing I thought about was, when were those? And maybe they were reported. I don't remember all the injury reports for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and if they coincided with, him being on the up and up. But that was a laundry list of injuries that it didn't seem, appear to be, on there. And again, they could have been. I don't know, but it's just a topic that, that everybody has to be clean. If the industry, and you guys are around it, everybody listening, we're all around it. You can't watch a game or listen to a game or not, be influenced or be infiltrated by some gambling site or app and them saying, hey, you know what, let's wager on the game. And, and it's fun. Everyone loves wagering on the game. So, but you want to think, hey, when I do this, I want to know that the quarterback doesn't have a torn lingam. He doesn't have a torn MCL. Doesn't have a strained calf. He's at 100% or 100, as close to 100% as you can be. There's not a significant injury. So
now around the team, you're not supposed to give up proprietary information. I have to sometimes not necessarily feel, but just not offer up everything I know. And then when it gets around to a particular injury, it might be a game time decision, and his leg's broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, and the Baker stuff, I mean, we've heard other stories where, and this is not the first time the whole issue of, teams not really being on the up and up of, saying, hey, this guy wasn't where he was supposed to be. And we kind of fudged this and, and we said he was good to go. And lo and behold, he's not. And, listen, I'm not an NFL coach. I don't claim to be, but I don't know how much game planning goes into it. And I'm down at Steelers practices. That's who I cover. So, we know during practice week who's practicing and who's not practicing. But I just like to think that at the end of the day, everything set aside, no matter me writing a story about Aaron Rodgers playing or not playing or Mason Rudolph taking snaps with the first team, I really don't think, and again, if I'm wrong, then I would love to actually have a coach tell me, like, this is why, that, just say the Los Angeles Rams and Sean McVay are going to have an advantage because they read my post where Mason Rudolph took snaps with the first team. Again, I don't know if that works. I mean, they might come to me. I'm like, oh my, you know what? You're right. And I know exactly why you do it. Maybe I'm wrong. And, but I mean, that's where we're at, but it's part of the game. And I don't think it'll change. And I think is teams and coaches and the media, I think we have less impact, less strength, if you will. I think that their stranglehold on hiding more and becoming stronger is actually in their favor. I would say it's lesser than our favor that, what we know, what we're allowed to know, what we're allowed to see, the times we're allowed to see it, that's all diminishing. And, I could go, Ed Bouchette, I don't know, a long time, writer for the Steelers. I mean, Brett, he used to talk about, he would, back in the day when you were in Latrobe, if you wanted to talk to Terry Bradshaw, I think you had to bring him a six-pack. And you would go in his dorms and you would do your interview with Terry Bradshaw in his dorm room. You know what I mean? Like now, Aaron Rodgers is, protected. You get maybe you talk to him once a week. And if that, there's, it's just totally a different, and I get it, it's a different time, but the idea that you're going to get these guys on those luxury moments and these one-on-ones and, it could be a little bit more authentic. Now it's, it's nine voices at one guy. You're all cramming to get your question in. And, hopefully he answers your question within, more than one word, cause you could fire out your question and like, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, yeah. And you're like, okay. And then you just wasted, the day.
Or Belichick gives you on to Cleveland.
Yeah.
On the Cleveland. Yeah, you get on the Cleveland. I think if I would have had fun with Belichick if I covered the Patriots, because you would have too. Just the historian part. I think if you could get him off topic on not so much the game, but maybe a history lesson, and we saw him do this as well. Is if you wanted to go on a tangent and Bill Belichick just say, hey, we're going to talk about this specific thing about football. He could do a Netflix,
I know I would have gotten along with him. I would have wanted to have gotten along with him. I would have entered into the whole deal. I would have a job to do, but I would enter into it non-adversarial with him because, first of all, I like coaches. I always have. I want to be cozier with them than combative with them. I know I would have gotten along with him. And I would have wanted to. I've had very few problems through the years with coaches. I don't want to go after them. I know what they go through, and I appreciate what they go through.
Yeah, listen, I mean, I've been on the other side in the CFL, and when you're on the other side, I mean, you know, it is on any side. I mean, when you're in that team environment, no matter what sport, I mean, winning is the ultimate thing. And if you're not winning, you know, and you guys know, like, if you're a head coach, you know, a lot of the guys that are on your staff, women too, you know, these are people that you feel confident in. They're part of your family in terms of the workforce. You know, if you lose your job, it's likely that they're going to lose their job. And so now their kids in their schools. So, I mean, there's so many branches and olive leaves that go out through this business where, you know, a coach is a coach, but, you know, we all get mad on Sunday. Listen, if you're a fan of a team and they're 0-5, you know, you're like, fire this guy. But, you know, but when it comes down to it, it takes a lot. And even the internal, you know, mechanism of, you know, coach, GM, and owner, you know, they might have a great relationship, and the trio might really believe in what they're doing is the right path, and it might not look good now, but we're going to fight through it. And maybe there periodically will come a time where, okay, we went through that period, and now there does need to be a change. But you know, I think you have to stick to your guns. When you hire those type of people at those positions, you know, you are going off a philosophy, a culture that's going to be created. That's what the coach sells when he gets hired. You know, he's like, hey, these are my plans. These are my details. This is what I want to do. This is how we're going to build it. And, you know, the owner likes it. GM likes it. And then, you know, and away you go. Mm-hmm. And, you know, listen, there's only one team every year that gets to say, hey, you know what we were doing worked.
Yep.
And what we did in 31 other teams are like, you know what we did. And I can tell you, I'm sure you guys know as many. I mean, you know, I can talk to scouts or coaches and, you know, assistants and all those things. And I mean, they never, ever, at least in my, you know, conversations, they have never said any loss. I put it this way, any loss that they've ever had, they own up to it. It's not, oh yeah, that was a bad call. They're like, no, we should have played better. We should have done better as coaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the whole attitude is, it's two wild extremes. It's win or die.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And we're in the society where, you know, that ticking clock, you know, TikTok, everything was instant. It's quick. And, you know, the things, hey, let this thing simmer on the stove for about 4 hours. You're like, no, man, nuke that thing in the microwave. We won a championship. So it's hard. It you know, and every fan base is eager. And again, that's why I love the off season. That's why I love the draft and free agency, because, you know, the defending Super Bowl champ Seattle Seahawks, they're 0-0 right now. The Cardinals are 0-0. The Browns are 0-0. And we don't know what's going to unfold. And we're going to talk all the way through this season, and there'll probably be points where we're talking, just like we did about Sam Darnold, where could you have ever imagined this happening? And you're like, no. And lo and behold, it does. And that's the beauty of all sports. No matter what sport you love, there's always those moments where the heroes are heroic, and the unknowns are as heroic as the guys that we know of. And that's what makes sports great.
And there was never a point last year, not even Super Bowl week, where we really thought the Seahawks were going to be the champion.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? Didn't you call the shutout? You thought, but it was Sam Darnold. We just weren't sure about Sam Darnold.
I called for a lackluster
29-0. Was it 29-0?
Yeah, I did.
All right. Was it 29-0 though?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I was close.
Is that pretty good? I remember that 29-0.
And Brian, we had coin on that, didn't we? We were going to win big coin.
That's right, and it looked good through the first half. And
it looked good to 8 minutes to play.
It did. Right. I was rooting for you guys.
Yeah, and
never been a shutout in Super Bowl history. Never been a punt return. Never been a goose egg.
That's crazy. That is it's hard to believe. Speaking of the champs, the Seahawks, they have an agreement on a sale, $9.6 billion that has to be voted on by the other owners in the league. But man, $9.6 billion for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, my bid came in a little short, guys. So yeah, I planned. You guys were going to be you guys would have been the voices of the Seattle Seahawks. I had a big plan, but unfortunately, I didn't have a seat at the table. No, you know like with all teams, with all ownership, you just hope that they're committed to winning at a deep level. This is, and we can make fun. Brian, I mean, regardless of Jerry Jones being wrong or right, we could never question that he wants his Dallas Cowboys to be champions. There's zero doubt about that. So, I hope the new Seattle ownership, if this comes to fruition, I hope they have the same passion, because Snyder, and we've seen the success of the Seahawks and the 12th man and everything that goes on, that, if you're a Super Bowl defending champion team, you get new ownership in the off season. You just hope for the, for the league, for us as fans, that, they remain committed to keeping this thing at the highest level. And that's what that should be all ownership, across all sports, but we know that that's not necessarily the case.
I just hit the Google machine. What would the Cowboys sell for? Here's the answer from Mr. AI Overview. The Dallas Cowboys are the most valuable sports franchise in the world.
Yeah, they are.
With estimated boy, that was with a guttural pride there, wasn't it? With valuations ranging from $13 billion by Forbes to $12.8 by Sportico. If owner Jerry Jones ever decided to put the team on the open market, industry experts and sports business analysts project the franchise could sell for close to $20 billion.
Wow.
Wow.
He bought them for $150 million.
Yeah, that's wild.
And told friends in Little Rock, if this doesn't go well, I'm broke. Every cent, everything. He said, lifestyles change. Children. I mean, this has to go well.
He is a businessman, and you look at Frisco and the Star and the way he's built up that community. Jerry Jones is brilliant. We could talk about his ownership, and he's getting up in age, so we can joke and dismiss his success, but I mean, he has carried on the Cowboys tradition, and despite the lack of playoff wins, and we know the Super Bowl since Jimmy Johnson and
despite Spain having a bigger win in the stadium than he's ever had.
Yeah. I mean, they're the Cowboys, and and the fun part is, I mean, Brett, I don't know how long we've been doing this, but it just seems like there's not when we do our NFC East picks or Super Bowl picks, playoff picks, I don't think I've never not put the Cowboys in that. And
we met at Jerry's World, Bo. What do you mean? How long we've been doing this? We met at the Cotton Bowl at Jerry's Stadium.
World. So it's important. I mean, but I just think there's something to say about that. That I mean. To have a team for that duration of all those years that are in the talk, and granted, it's just the Yankees, it's Tiger Woods, it's the Dallas Cowboys, and when you have that star on your helmet, things are carried a different way. That's why, that's why Mike McCarthy, despite his success, 12-4 or 13-4, I mean, great record. They lose in the playoffs embarrassingly to the Packers, and and we know the door is going to be closed on you for that. So. But that's when you're in an organization where winning is considered the ultimate prize. It's it's not we're the Arizona Cardinals or the Cleveland Browns where we went 9-7. We're going to put up a trophy for somebody or a statue outside the stadium. No, this is the Steelers, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Lakers, the Celtics, the Boston Red Sox. The Yankees. Where this is it. This is Ohio State, Alabama. That's it. We don't care about bowl games. We want national championships. We want Super Bowl titles. We want NBA titles, and that's where the Dallas are. And listen, it's been a long drought. But I just think they remain consistent, and they've been consistent. I think that's the one thing you can't argue, that they've, even if they've had a bad year, they've never been awful. They're always in the hunt, and there's always, at least I think, a respectable hope to be successful. It might not come to that, but at least I think there's a realistic say, okay, you know what? We didn't go 10-7, but we finished, 7-10. But nonetheless, we could have been a winning team.
Yeah.
And here's the eye for talent that Gil Brandt, one of the 2 or 3 or 4 personnel guys of all time, in there with Al Davis and Bobby Beathard, and that's the league he's in. Gil Brandt introduced me to Bo.
How about that? Wow.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Standing there in the chow line, weren't we, Bo?
Wow.
Yes, we were. And listen, I mean, listen, just to say that you knew Gil Brandt, I mean, as a football lover and a historian, I love the history of the sport. I'm sure you feel the same way. It's just, when you have those guys that, these are legends that created the game. I mean, drafting and scouting. I mean, the Cowboys were on the, they were the team that brought, what Paul Brown and the Rams were doing back in the day. Like they brought it to another life, and that's I don't know what the next level is because it seems like we've leveled out, but I guess we got AI and different statistics that do change things, but it's changing and analytics and all those fun things. But yeah, Gil Brandt, when you talk about just the powerhouse of football knowledge, and just a great guy, just awesome to know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to our AFC South rankings. Bo, as our guest, why don't you start us off?
All right, I'm going to do quarterbacks, and I'm reluctant to say this because I'm not a Trevor Lawrence guy, but I got to go Trevor Lawrence 1. I'm going to go C.J. Stroud 2. Okay. I'm going to say Cam Ward 3, and that's just the hope. And that's just the hope, just because I don't think there's anything else with Daniel Jones with Indianapolis. But, in my heart of hearts, I think Daniel Jones is better than Cam Ward. I do believe that. But I'm going on, hey, Cam Ward was a rookie. Things are going to be better in year 2, and, he's going to develop. So I'm going to go Lawrence, Stroud, Ward, and then Daniel Jones. Do you want the coaches now, too?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. Ryan's. We're going to do Ryan's. It's any other thing I think it'd be good. I'm going to go Liam Cohen from Jacksonville 2, Robert Saleh 3, and then Shane Steichen 4.
I have almost the same thing. I have the same quarterbacks and the same explanation. Jones may be better, but I'm going to bet on Cam Ward. And on the coaches, only thing different, I have Saleh 4, Shane Steichen 3.
Wow.
And I get that. You know what it is? I just think he got a raw deal in New York. So I'm hoping. Listen, this is where you could be right, and I could totally get egg on my face. Is if Saleh and the Titans don't get better, then I'm like, okay, you know what? The Jets weren't good with you. The Titans weren't good with you. My bad. So
it's last stop, Bryant.
Yeah, my quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence 1, C.J. Stroud 2, Daniel Jones 3, and Cam Ward 4. Just haven't seen enough of Cam Ward. Yeah, just want a little more from him, so I have him 4th. My AFC South coaches, I got D'Amico Ryan number 1, and then after that, I think you can put these coaches in any order you want to.
You really could.
I love Robert Saleh, so I'm going to put him at number 2. I will never judge a coach just on what they did with the New York Jets. You're going to have to show me you can either be a coach or not be a coach somewhere else before I decide on you. But love Saleh, and so I'll go him number 2. Liam Cohen number 3 for me, and then Shane Steichen number 4.
I think everybody wants to see Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence do it again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Connor?
Brian, I have so much respect for you picking Saleh.
Thank you.
Number 2, because I wish I had. Dude, you're like my favorite person of the day right now.
Well, good.
I have Trevor Lawrence 1, C.J. Stroud 2, Cam Ward 3, and Daniel Jones 4. And then for my coaches, D'Amico Ryans, Liam Cohen, Shane Steichen, and then Robert Saleh last.
What does C.J. Stroud have to do to end the year ahead of Trevor Lawrence as the number 1 quarterback in this division, Bo?
I think it's going to come down to, one, winning the division. And if the Texans don't win the division, they go into the playoffs as a wild card, and then they outlast the Jacksonville Jaguars in the playoffs. I think that's the only way. And I think throughout the season we'll also see that. He was so sensational as a rookie with Nico Collins, and we got excited. And they've had their line issues. The receivers have been banged up. Joe Mixon never, he didn't play last year. I mean, that was a big part of, the ground and pound and keeping things honest, defensively. So, I wouldn't put it all on his shoulders, but his success as a rookie hampered everything he's going to do after this. Because, at that point, you're like, wow, the Texans got, the second pick of the draft after Bryce Young. They have the best quarterback. He looks sensational. They're on their way, and he hasn't lived up to that since then. And we saw the playoffs last year. There's a lot of questions about is he the guy? But the unfortunate part about any franchise is, we know this is, once you get a guy like him, you're kind of stuck. It's because it's hard to throw that him to this curb and think, okay, we're going to go back into the draft, because we don't know if Julian Saint's going to be better. We don't know if Arch Manning's going to be the guy. So, that's where the conundrum starts, where, you could say, okay, we're not going to pay you, 50, 60 million, but now we got to go back to the hole, and then you got to deal with the fan base. It was like, wow, we had a guy and we've made the playoffs. We've won the division the last 2 or 3 years, and we're starting over. So that's all part of the, the issue of a guy that's a very good quarterback, but you hope they establish themselves to be great, and then you rest a little bit easier paying them that money when you go to bed at night.
Yeah, I feel like especially with these quarterbacks, this division is going to be really fun to watch this year and see
I think you're right.
How it all shakes out at the end of the season. But Bo, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll do it again next Tuesday.
Stay safe, gentlemen.
Right back at you, Bo. Thanks for joining us. Bo Marchant with us every single week talking the NFL, and always fun to do these quarterback and coach rankings with him. We're going to get to a break here in a minute, but before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet. The Dobbs family, an old established name, is back in the car business in Memphis. Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, located at 7850 Highway 64 in Bartlett, offering a full selection of new Chevrolets and quality used cars to meet every need and budget. Head out there today and check out those beautiful new vehicles like the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500, the 2026 Chevy Traverse, and the 2026 Chevy Equinox, a redesigned, rugged meets modern style vehicle with a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder gas engine. At Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it's fully transparent pricing, no hidden fees, no games, and they cover all your needs with their service department. Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet welcomes you to a new way of providing excellent customer service. Their great team is ready to put you in your next great vehicle. So head out to Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet in Bartlett, 7850 Highway 64, open Monday through Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can go online, view those vehicles at DobbsBrothersChevrolet.com, but make sure you get out there in person, test drive them today at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We've seen days, even what seems like weeks of soaking rain, damaging hail, and even flooding. So today, do one simple thing. Look up. If you see a water stain, bubbling paint, or discoloration on your ceiling, don't ignore it. What starts as a small roof leak can quickly become mold, turning a minor problem into a major expense. At Metro Builders Memphis, our professionals will inspect your roof, assess any storm damage, help mitigate further damage. We'll measure your roof from outer space and guide you through the repair or replacement process with an estimate on site with multiple options at that. Don't let them tell you your roof needs to be replaced when all it may need is some love. We'll give you an honest assessment so you can make the right decision for your home and family. At Metro Builders Memphis, call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or simply book your appointment online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
The cup is down to its final matches. DraftKings has you covered for every single one. The DraftKings app is now available in all 50 states, including all markets. New DraftKings customers, sign up with promo code HERD. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's promo code HERD. In partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Canada. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Availability varies. Bet to get bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Trade to get $50 in predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Issued every 7 days via click-to-claim for 21 days. One non-withdrawable reward redeemable. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends July 19th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
Kohl's knows summer comes with a few family debates, like what's the best ice cream flavor, or who gets the good pool noodle. But when it comes to Kohl's summer outfits, everyone's in agreement. They're comfy, they're cool, they're stylish. And the best part, they're 20% off. Make the season a little easier with looks your whole family will sign off on at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends July 19th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're working with a couple of accidents out here. Still a little bit slower than normal on 40 westbound here on the Hernando de Soto Bridge, trying to get back over into West Memphis as they clean up an accident over in that area. Again, that's been slow for about, 30, 45 minutes at least. That's 40 west on the I-40 bridge here, headed over into Crittenden County. A little bit of extra time as it continues to build south of Memphis. Now, we did see radar down through there earlier on 55 south of South Pavement. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck having transmission problems. Come to Amco Transmissions, 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck, you're on time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, 7450 Highway 64 in Bartlett. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Back into Sports Time, Bryant and Brett with you as we got a little bit less than 30 minutes left in today's show. Got to talk about what's trending, and Brett, you talked about the fact that we were going from World Cup coverage straight into Major League Baseball All-Star Game coverage, and that the All-Star Game coverage wasn't starting until 5:30. This was back at like 4:30, and we were going, how in the world are they going to do post-game for a whole nother hour of the World Cup match? Did you see what they did? They did a little bit of a crossover between the World Cup and the All-Star Game.
I love how Fox has presented World Cup and wrapped it around other sports programming and other programming in general. They know what they're doing. They paid huge money for those rights fees, and they're capitalizing on it. And you know, it's not every day you get Alexi Lawless and Big Papi.
Yeah, no, or Thierry Henry and Zlatan asking baseball questions to those guys. I mean, that is the best part of that.
How did Henry take the L?
You know, I didn't get to hear the post game, so I'm sure not great. But hey, he's a pro, and I'm sure he took it just as well as one could take it. You know.
Spain, England final. I'm ready for it.
Hey, that'd be great. You know, I think, Messi will have something to say about that, and we'll see what he looks like in what could be his final World Cup game tomorrow. So we'll know because he's got I keep forgetting about the consolation game. Yeah. So, it won't be his final game of that consolation, but his final game that will matter maybe tomorrow in the semifinals.
If I could, I'm not going to because I'm going to be too busy. I would go to the consolation game.
Yeah, no. I mean, look, when you're talking France and whoever it is between Argentina and England tomorrow, that's just as good as what a final match would be between those two teams. So yeah, it's going to be really, really good. And
so that was the last anything at Jerry's World at Cowboy Stadium.
That's right.
Until the Cowboys.
Yeah. Which
it'll pull the grass up.
That's right. Yep. And the big talk about is that they had the drapes down for the World Cup matches, which is Jerry Jones very much against the drapes. He likes the sun coming in, which nobody on the team likes the sun coming in, but he loves the sun coming in. So people wondering if they could just keep the drapes up and have those.
It's an East-West stadium too.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely is, and it's an issue all the time for the Cowboys and the opposing team. But so that was fun today, kind of finishing it out at Jerry's World, and now they'll go up to the New York area.
And all the people saying the World Cup wasn't going to work, and
it's been great.
We couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's been a blast. And so, yeah, I think finals is going to be just as fun. Semifinal game tomorrow is going to be fun. Still don't know yet what that consolation match is going to look like, but, should be fun as well. So definitely looking forward
to it. The drinking could be heavy at the consolation game.
It definitely could be.
It could be the only recourse for some.
No, it really could be. So, we'll see. But will be a lot of fun. I know a lot of people will be watching the All-Star game tonight, but the Grizzlies also in action here in about 20 minutes or so as they'll play another Summer League game tonight, 6 o'clock again on ESPN. It was a loss last night with a lot of guys out there. Haven't seen anything yet on who will play, who won't play tonight, but maybe, we talked about this yesterday, maybe you get a look at the other first-round pick tonight with Kareem Lopez as he not able to play a game
all
last
I want to
night.
see.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of people just waiting to get that first glimpse of him, and I'm hoping we see him tonight. It sounded like going into last night's game that he was close, so maybe we get to see him tonight. If not, we're really, really getting late into Summer League.
Brian, in all of my preparation and anticipation, eagerly getting ready, and not a lick of it is work. It is so fun, and I'm looking so forward to being in Tampa for SEC Media Days. There's just no way Texas is going to miss this year. With that defense, that offensive line, they got better and better and better. But we've all been burned by Texas many times before.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Today, Joe Lunardi with a bracketology.
Hey, how about that?
And on the front page of ESPN.com basketball section, homepage of men's basketball, is this not the classic Texas headline?
Oh,
men's bracketology. Texas is ahead of schedule.
I love that. All right.
And that's what they have to fight against because the expectations for them and everything is so extraordinarily high.
No, it is. And so, yeah, I mean, I know they added, Marcus Spears Jr., but, what else has Texas done since the last bracketology that made them front headline on that bracketology, moved up to a 2 seed? How about that? So I don't know if it was the addition of Spears or something else.
That means
Texas
you can go higher then at 2.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. So good for the Longhorns. Memphis will see them early in the season this year.
Sure will. The ones very predictable: Florida, Duke, Michigan, Illinois. I know really, really early for bracketology.
Oh, yeah.
And still some getting used to on the Sudoku puzzle that's the bracket.
Yeah, no, it's a quirky-looking bracket. I guess eventually we'll get used to it. But it's really, I think, going to hit all of us once we get to that first day of opening round games, and we're really trying to not only digest the amount of games that we have, but digest that not only are we playing in Dayton, also playing in Wichita.
I think with Joe Lunardi's terminology, last 4 buys, last 4 in, first 4 out, next 4 out, he goes through 84 teams mentioned.
That's crazy.
What does it say that Memphis is not even mentioned in the 84?
I mean, I don't really know how much it says or how much it doesn't say. I mean, I think that's kind of what you expect when last
July
year
14th.
was.
Is what it says.
It's what happened last year. I mean, what are you going to expect? This Memphis team is absolutely going to have to go out there and prove it. And they're going to have the opportunity with that non-conference slate. And then, obviously you go out and you win your conference, you got a spot into it. So, yeah, I wouldn't take too much from it. Again, middle of the summer, bracketology, and a lot of this is playing into completely new roster and what they did last season.
Brian, I swear, I don't think I would take much more of it if the Tigers were a 2 seed.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, you look at these, and if you wrote down all the top 3 seeds on here, there's going to be a couple teams that get nowhere near being a top 3 seed once we get to March and the bracket is ultimately revealed. So, it's something to pass the time. It's something people talk about, and college basketball fans will look at it and see where everyone stands, but it means absolutely nothing.
Final Four next April in Detroit at Ford Field.
Yeah, how about that? So
Tigers are 1-0 in sports there.
That's right. So
D'Angelo's last game played there.
Yeah, we'll see what that field looks like when we get there. But it's another.
I'm not calling for Final Four.
No. I know you're not. But it's you know how I feel about being in those big old stadiums. But they're gonna keep on doing it with college basketball. So hopefully they got a good turnout in Detroit this year.
Yeah, they're going to keep having them there because that's their big seller.
Mm-hmm. No, it absolutely is, and people will buy those tickets just to be in the building. And so as long as people are buying them, why change anything? Just now seeing this from our friend Jonah Dillon, who is covering the Grizzlies tonight for their Summer League game. He tweeted out just a couple minutes ago, per team spokesperson, for the game today versus Golden State, Grizzlies will have same group of roster players available other than Omax, who is doubtful with a back injury. Quote, Kareem Lopez remains on track to make his debut before the end of Vegas Summer League. So he's not playing tonight, and that means the Grizzlies, I believe, have one more game before we get to the kind of bracket final type of game. I don't know when exactly that game is. Let's see.
We're about to run the clock out, though. He's been on track to play and hadn't played yet.
No. So they'll play again Thursday night. That's 7 o'clock on Prime Video against the Hawks. And then you get into Friday, and you've got a bunch of consolation games, and then you've got the semifinals, and then you'll have the final. So I don't know exactly where the Grizzlies stand in terms of trying to make the semifinals. I think you would need to win tonight and on Thursday to even have a chance to get into the semifinals. But I would say you're probably looking at, if he's not playing tonight, the game on Thursday, and then one more consolation game. So 2 more games probably in Vegas Summer League. I guess I'll take their word, but I'm not feeling great about seeing Kareem Lopez in Summer League.
I'm not either. Brian, I'm afraid I opened the floodgates for this too. So, and this was after you defended me on making a major show scheduling faux pas earlier that I will forever regret. I'll try to do much better tomorrow. But a good friend of the show, good friend, someone that likes you. Please share this with Brian. Dallas Stadium is hosting a World Cup semifinal before it hosted an NFC Championship game.
Thank you. Yeah, it's true.
You're catching a lot of strays over this day. It's really not necessary. And I think I opened the gate.
I didn't want to bring it up, but I did like all the nice words that we said with Bo about the Cowboys. I mean, it was a very flattering Cowboys segment. But yes, that is
Most
true.
Most of it yesteryear.
It is a lot yesteryear. I do appreciate the text acknowledging Dallas Stadium, not AT&T Stadium for the World Cup. It is Dallas Stadium. But yes, very true. I mean, it was a great moment there for FIFA.
At the Meadowlands at MetLife, will that be New Jersey or New York Stadium? Because it is distinctly in the state of New Jersey.
All right, let's see. Where will
very poor geography students know that.
That's right. Let's see. That is a great question.
Or will it be New York, New Jersey Stadium?
I do not know. I will have to figure that out, but I don't know. Is my final answer.
Where was the place and they just covered up? It was somewhere. Oh, it was at Seattle, and their stadium is what is the corporate name of the Seattle where the Seahawks play?
Oh, I'm blanking now.
I am too.
Lumen Field.
It just covered up Lumen, so we were just playing at Field.
Yeah. The same happened in with that Levi. They just covered. It was like a tarp over Levi, and so it was just stadium.
Per FIFA.com, it is New York/New Jersey Stadium.
How about that?
Okay.
Getting it all in. I mean, everyone feels welcome.
But it is very much not in New York.
That's right. But it's the same thing.
No more than West Memphis is in Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, we looked up, and I maybe you have the list of all the sites up, so you can tell us. But that's the same thing with Levi. I think they called it San Francisco Bay Stadium or something like that.
40 minutes south in Santa Clara.
And so I think they're Hartford. They're just going to latch on to kind of that big area.
But the Bears will still be the Chicago Bears
Definitely.
playing in Gary, Indiana.
Definitely, which that could get a little ugly there.
Because when you just say Chicago Bears, you know you're talking football.
Absolutely, yeah. What are you gonna say? The Indiana Bears? I mean, that'll be really ugly. What do you have the name for new
San
Levi Stadium?
Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah. So see, they just kind of latch on to the big city. So I'm glad at least New Jersey getting a share in there as well. But we'll be fun, and it'll be fun tomorrow with the other semifinal game for the World Cup. But we need to get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Humdinger's Crunch Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The best clubs never stand still. Colonial Country Club has been an iconic part of Memphis golf for generations. And today, a multi-million-dollar reinvention is reshaping its future. Members enjoy championship golf and family-focused amenities including pickleball, tennis, swimming, fitness, dining, and a vibrant club calendar. History matters. So does what comes next. Membership opportunities are now available. Visit thenewcolonial.com to learn how you can be a part of Colonial's next chapter.
Kohl's knows summer comes with a few family debates, like what's the best ice cream flavor or who gets the good pool noodle. But when it comes to Kohl's summer outfits, everyone's in agreement. They're comfy, they're cool, they're stylish. And the best part, they're 20% off. Make the season a little easier with looks your whole family will sign off on at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends July 19th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
It's true. East Memphis Ace Hardware is closing. But just like always, they're taking care of you with a big going out of business sale. Everything in the store is 30% off. Everything, including the Big Green Egg and all Weber grills. Some things have additional savings, like Amy Howard paint at 75% off. Come in and save like it's goodbye, because it is. Save at least 30% on everything in the store. East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince, going out of business.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Taco Tuesday. Enjoy crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. $2 tacos all day. The best deal in town.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet at 7450 Highway 64 in Bartlett. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Well, it's Tuesday. That means Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Taco Tuesday. Enjoy crunchy slaw, grilled fish and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. $2 tacos all day. It is by far the best deal in town. Well, Brett, what I learned today, and this is I guess interesting is one way to put it, story over at ESPN today titled, Red Sox haven't lost since Celtics traded Jaylen Brown. I did not even pay attention to that correlation.
That's more of the Jordan Walker winning the home run derby. Does it correlate into anything?
That's exactly right. This goes on to say that at 6:13 p.m. Eastern Time on July 1st, ESPN's Shams Charania broke the news that Brown was being dealt to the Philadelphia 76ers. Well, on July 1st, the Red Sox played a day game that they lost to the Washington Nationals. On July 2nd, They did not play a game, had an off day, and they have not lost since then. They've been red hot. They've swept the Angels, the White Sox, and the Mets with a plus 34 run differential across their 9-game win streak. So good for the Red Sox. I guess it's funny that the correlation is at the exact same time that Boston traded Jaylen Brown, but good on them, and we'll see how they look coming out of the All-Star break.
We look for anything to get a hot streak going, don't we?
Absolutely.
Any connection, we'll take it. What I learned today, tomorrow will be the last day, I hope, for a year that we go without Major League Baseball, with the lockout labor stoppage. I sure hope we don't have that, or NFL or college football or college basketball or the NBA. Tomorrow, slowest day of sports before it all starts back again on Thursday with Mets and Phillies.
Yeah, that'll be a nice standalone game to get us all back on Thursday. But yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're not talking about this being a really, really long drought next year at this time.
Get ready for some June and July shows.
Yeah, no kidding. What I could have done without today, it's all of the overreactions from NBA Summer League. Look, I love NBA Summer League, if not as much more than the next guy. I love watching these young guys go out there and show that they can play in the NBA. Some of these reactions I'm seeing from these guys are incredible. I saw somebody wanting to say Bruce Thornton was going to be the next All-Star for the Houston Astros. Well, first off, he wouldn't be with the Houston Astros; he'd be with the Houston Rockets. But that's getting a little crazy.
Yeah,
it's fun to watch these guys and dream big. The Arthur Kaluma talk with the Lakers right now. Look, he's played great, but I need to see it at the actual NBA level. It's fun, but at the end of the day, it's just glorified pickup basketball. It's fun to watch, but it's nothing to take any crazy, observations from at the end of the day.
File it under the same thing of what I could have done without, and most of that is filed under July 14th.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Lenardi with his midsummer bracketology, okay, fine. Coach Hardaway's Tigers nowhere in sight, even with a 70-team tournament. But at the end of next year, now, other than just maybe a just colossal failure, if he doesn't make the tournament, he's not going to be out next year either, and shouldn't be, because they don't want to spend that kind of money to buy him. Whenever he goes, it's going to be when he's ready to go, whether it's on top or after a modest year. Because right now, Charles Huff doesn't want fundraising going to pay off Penny Hardaway when it can go to football players for him.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point, and so we'll see. Hopefully, Penny Hardaway and his team is in that conversation when it actually matters on Selection Sunday. But you're right, in July, I'm not taking much from bracketology from anybody. Where are you beaming tonight?
South side of Philly, where all the stadiums are, fields, parks, arenas, and where they've been really since they built the vet for both the Eagles and the Phillies, built the Spectrum right by it for the 76ers, and that's where Citizens Bank Park, Lincoln Financial, and the Xfinity Mobile Arena, where they are now. All the action is on the south side of Philly.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun tonight with the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Beam me there, but also beam me to the Grizzlies Summer League game tonight. We'll see. It sounds like, I'm sure maybe since we last talked about it, they have maybe released the starting lineup for that game that starts in just a couple minutes at 6 o'clock. But it sounds like everybody will be playing again tonight. And so we'll see how they look. It wasn't great last night when the Grizzlies were playing a lot of their guys and Dallas wasn't. It ended up in a loss. KO, our old friend at Memphis, with a nice game for Dallas as he finished with 16 points. KO Dorichi Akabundo Iho, if you remember him, didn't play much, only one season here for the Tigers.
I don't remember it at all.
3 or 4 years ago, I think averaged like 5.5 minutes per game. Big, tall guy.
Mike Parks, we hardly knew you.
Yeah, well, no, this guy was he was 7 foot, maybe a little taller. He was huge. Didn't play much. He's been playing overseas. He had a good game last night. The Grizzlies, though, did not. We'll see if it looks better tonight.
Tonight it's the All-Star game. A lot to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on what pitcher faces the most batters, who records the most outs pitching, how many players will be spent. Well, if you're trying to keep the scorecard at home, good luck. I still have National League pride. Go National League tonight. Also, half the World Cup finals already set, and I'll be watching live from Royal Birkdale.
Yeah, and tomorrow we got to make our picks for the Open, so that will be a lot of fun.
You taking Tiger Christensen?
You know what? Again, I just, Tiger's not speaking to me this year. I think I'll pass on Tiger this time. But starting 5 tonight for the Memphis Grizzlies: Javon Small, Cedric Coward, Taylor Hendricks, Cam Boozer, and Lawson Lovering. So a lot of the guys playing tonight and starting. So it will be fun to watch that against Golden State. All-Star game going to be a blast as well. A couple other Summer League games as well tonight. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.